The Packers have to win tonight to keep a share of the lead in the NFC Central. They're a half game behind the Lions, who won today to go to 8-5. The situation is more critical for San Diego in the wild card race. 5 teams ahead of them for 3 spots. They have 4 games left, and they need 4 wins. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Joe Theismann. It's great to have you with us. The Chargers have won their last 2 to get back to 500, and they have done it with a playoff caliber defense that has not allowed a touchdown in the last 13 quarters. But, Joe, the offense has to make more of a contribution.
Mike, the offense does have to make more of a contribution, and Stan Humphries is back in charge because he brings a creativity to the offense. Now, he started out rough because of the problems with his shoulder. Wasn't getting the ball where he wanted to, didn't feel like he was throwing the kind of passes he had to. But now that the shoulder's healed, he's leading the San Diego Chargers back to the type of play that he did during that playoff run late in the year. But Bobby Ross put it as well as anybody. He told his football team, if we have aspirations to win and to get to the playoffs, we've got to do it tonight.
Packers, of course, are still thinking division title, the same thing they have thought since the day they signed Reggie White for $17 million. With White, they're the 4th best defense in the NFL. They were 23rd a year ago, and they have allowed the 2nd fewest touchdowns in the NFL. And Reggie White has certainly done his part, 10.5 sacks.
Reggie White is the name. Reggie White is a great football player. All you have to do is look at the sacks that he has. But he makes so many people around him so much better. That's the impact that he's had on this football team. Leroy Butler, the strong safety, career high 3 interceptions, this year 5. Bryce Paup, outside linebacker, career high sacks, 7.5, now 10.5. Reggie White, when you really think of a great football player, you think of a guy of how he can influence other players around him. Reggie White is great, and he is influencing his teammates.
For the Packers on offense, Favre and Sterling Sharp have certainly racked up some big numbers. Sharp ahead of his record pace of a year ago, but Favre is making the kind of mistakes he did not make last year, and that's been a big problem for this ball club.
Well, what you're going to see tonight is Bill Arnsparger went out of character last week against John Elway. He blitzed him. That's not what Arnsparger wants to do. Against Brett Favre, what he's going to do, he's going to lay back in the zones and let Favre beat himself.
Mike Holmgren in his 2nd year, only the 3rd coach in Packer history with a winning record. The others, Vince Lombardi and Curly Lambeau. Bobby Ross also in his 2nd year. He won the AFC West as a rookie, picked up several Coach of the Year honors along the way. John Carney will kick it off as the Packers have won the toss. Corey Harrison, Marcus Wilson are deep to return. Harris very dangerous with 3 attempts tonight. He will probably be leading the NFL in kickoff returns right now, averaging 28-6. And Harris from the 8. Stays on his feet to the 25-26-yard line. Brett Favre has had a year of big numbers, both good and bad. He's 2nd in the conference in yards, 3rd in touchdowns, but also has 18 interceptions. His biggest weapon is the NFL's leading receiver, Sterling Sharp, on track to be the first ever with back-to-back 100-yard catches. Ken Rutgers faces the best pass rushers week after week. He's kept the blind side clean with a Pro Bowl caliber performance. The toss to Edgar Bennett. And the fullback gets outside for about 3. San Diego on defense. Chris Mims has taken over for the injured Bert Grossman and played well. He has 6 of the club's 28 sacks. Junior Seau is the Chargers' leading tackler overall. Also leads the team in tackles behind the line of scrimmage with 14. And rookie Darian Gordon has been impressive enough to earn a starting spot at corner. He adds speed to the secondary. 2nd and 7 from the Green Bay 28. Thompson, the deep man in the eye. Favre with play action. Deep sideline intended for Sterling Sharp. He's covered by Donald Frank.
That's a little bit out of character for Brett Favre. What he wanted to do was go left to Clayton. He didn't. But look at his completions, and this is indicative of the offense. What you see here is 0 to 9 yards, 62%. 10 to 19, 28%. Almost 90% of your offense on that side of the ball. He just doesn't throw the ball down the field.
3rd and 7. Of course, that's Mike Holmgren's passing game. from the San Francisco 49ers. Four-man rush. Favre guns it behind his tight end, Jackie Harris, and Green Bay is 3 and out.
Bill Arnsparger is going to let you look at one thing and make you work into something else. Favre goes back. He looks like the middle's open. You can see it. It looks like it's open. Well, not quite. All of a sudden, a linebacker crosses from one side. A safety comes from another side. That's what Arnsparger does.
Brian Wagner having a great year punting to Darian Gordon, who leads the NFL in punt return. Won't get a shot at this and takes a good bounce for the Packers inside the 20. A punt of 51 and no return. San Diego on offense. Stan Humphries has all the tools. His return to the lineup has pulled the club back to 500. He's finally over his shoulder injury. Anthony Miller is having another all-star season, 4th in the conference in catches, 5th in yards. Courtney Hall is the only offensive lineman who was a starter a year ago. He's a 2-time alternate to the Pro Bowl. A very boisterous sellout crowd here in San Diego. And Humphries to throw. Has good protection and throws incomplete. Out of the hands of Anthony Miller. Terrell Buckley right on top of him. After a slow start, Reggie White is where he's been for years, the most feared defensive lineman in the game, on the way to an 8th Pro Bowl. Bryce Popp has matched White's 10.5 sacks for the 3rd in the conference. That's already 3 more than he's ever had. Strong safety Leroy Butler's 5 interceptions are a career high, good enough for a first-place tie in the NFC. The Minister of Defense lining up at left end. Ronnie Harmon in the game for San Diego gets the ball on the draw, and they have been trying desperately to get the ball to Ronnie Harmon more often. One of the problems with the San Diego Chargers this year has been the offensive line. As we said, Courtney Hall, the only starter in that position from a year ago. Harry Swain is out. He has a broken eye socket. They feared for his sight for a while. Of course, they lost Eric Moulton, and it's the one place you can least afford injury.
If you're a quarterback, it's the one place you hope everybody stays healthy.
John Jefferson checks in on 3rd and 9 as a 3rd wideout. Deep sideline, Miller covered by Buckley. There was some contact, but no flag.
Reggie White is the type of guy you game plan against. You must protect. Watch him, number 92. Guard takes him on, center bumps him. Now he comes outside still, and the tackle comes back and blocks him. 3 men on Reggie White. That means that somebody else in that defensive line or linebackers is going to have to make plays for the Packers.
And with Reggie White, that's not overkill. Mike Pryor stands inside his 40, awaiting the punt of John Kidd. Beautiful kick by Kidd. Pryor driven all the way back to the 26 and dumped as he crosses the 30 to about the 34. Return of 7, a punt of 53. Scoreless first quarter.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by Budweiser, Beechwood Age for a crisp, clean, classic taste. By Sony, the official video electronics company of the NFL. And by Coca-Cola Classic. Always the real thing. Always Coca-Cola.
Welcome back to beautiful San Diego. We are scoreless in the first quarter, 13-10 on the clock, and Green Bay has the ball for the second time, just inside their own 34. Favre on the naked bootleg, throws to Bennett out of the backfield, across midfield to the Charger 41-yard line, first down. Gary Plummer made the tackle after a gain of 25.
Mike, what happens is when you've got a defense that pursues like the Chargers, you give them misdirection. You saw Junior Seau, 55, take those few steps to the left, allow Edgar Bennett to get out into the secondary, and that's where he starts to make move on linebackers and defensive backs. Mims can't get his hands up quick. Seau took one step with the action. Bennett slid through. Now he's one-on-one with DB.
Thompson behind Bennett, not much, driven out of bounds. Steve Hendrickson makes the tackle. Through 12 games, here's the comparison on Brett Favre between last year and this year. All of the numbers still look pretty good until this year when you get to the end and the interceptions just jump out at you. 18 as compared to 8. That's really the difference.
And that's about what he's had. Some little guy come out of nowhere, jump up and pull the ball down from him.
Some have been his fault, of course. Some haven't. Last week against the Bears, career highs in those categories. But the interceptions and fumbles resulted in a loss. Favre sidearms this one. Great catch by Jackie Harris. Holy cow, what a play.
Mike, you can say it was a great play, but that's the kind of plays that has caused Brett Favre problems. The first receiver wasn't there. He sets back to reload, and he just threw this one like a gunslinger. Here comes the pressure. Now Harris is going to come from the left part of your screen, and he just fires this thing. I mean, he just flat fires it. The ball gets bounced in the air. That's the thing that Mike Holmgren loves about Brett Favre is his aggressiveness, but he's got to learn to temper it, or those interceptions are going to continue to go out.
He loves it, and at the same time, it scares him to death. Bennett. Inside the 20 to the 15, 14-yard line, Junior Seau with the tackle. The Packers would love to upgrade the ground game a little bit and take the pressure off Favre's passing game. And in the last couple, it looks like they might have a chance.
And what they get with Edgar Bennett is they don't get a fast guy. He plays the fullback position, but really he's only 216, so it's like having two halfbacks back there. He's a good cutback runner. He reads the block well, finds a hole, and slashes up inside of it.
Chargers defense has gone 13 quarters without allowing a touchdown. That streak in jeopardy right now in 2nd and 1. Favre over the middle, complete inside the 5-yard line to Sterling Sharp. It's his 87th catch of the year, and Sterling Sharp is playing with an incredibly painful foot, an injury that hasn't allowed him to practice in 5 weeks.
I want to tell you something. This is incredible. Brett Favre does not have time to come back and find Sterling Sharp. He comes back instinctively. Watch the right. Now watch this. He looks, turns. He can't even see Sharp. All he does is know that he's going to be there, and he throws it to the area where he expects him to be, and boy, he was there.
2 tight ends set on 1st and goal from the 3. Bennett got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Blaze Winter and Junior Seau waiting for him. The resident defensive genius of the Chargers. Bill Arnsparger has done it in a lot of places, and he's always done it the same way, brilliantly.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, to appreciate his genius, you almost have to play against it and walk away shaking your head and say, it just wasn't that tough. Why did I throw 3 interceptions? It just wasn't that hard.
Inside the 20, the Chargers in the top 10 in the NFL. 2nd and goal. Bennett behind Thompson. Touchdown. Edgar Bennett gets his 7th rushing touchdown, and Darrell Thompson threw him a great block.
What happens, Mike, is in that entire drive, as a matter of fact, every running play the Packers have run, they've run to the right side where Chris Mims is. This is some outstanding blocking up front. The wide receivers get the block. Jackie Harris gets a block. They wind up with the touchdown. But that looks like where Green Bay wants to go. They want to run at Mims, who's basically a pass rusher.
And he's in there because Bert Grossman is out with an injury. And Chris Jackie, who's had nearly a perfect year, converts. And the Green Bay Packers take a 7-0 lead. Welcome back to San Diego. Now it's time for a word from our friend and political consultant, Ross Perot.
The San Diego Chargers. Entering tonight, this team has scored 5 TDs in 6 home games. Folks, these bolts are lacking some lightning. Here's the deal. Natrone means 2 touchdowns at home. That leads the team. Heck, the punter has as many touchdowns at the Murph as Pro Bowler Anthony Miller, and more than Marion Butts or Ronnie Harmon. Why, Harmon hasn't scored all year, friends. This is hardly impressive. Remind you of anything? Wait, back to football. Bottom line is this. This is a team who hasn't cotton to home cooking.
Certainly nice to have him on our team this year.
Oh, boy, has he added something to this telecast.
Nate Lewis to return the kick from the 8-yard line. Near sideline and crosses the 20. That's about it. Dexter McNabb, reserve running back, down on kick cover.
Mentally, for the San Diego Chargers, it's right now, it's important to get a couple of first downs at least. At the worst, you got to come up with a couple of first downs to slow down what looks like momentum by the Packers.
Very impressive scoring drive for the Green Bay Packers. 66 yards, 4 minutes off the clock. And the first score the Charger defense has given up after a 13-quarter shutout. Marion Butts gets his first carry. Waiting for him, Johnny Holland.
Stan Humphries back at quarterback for the Chargers. He's really, I believe, the man that they want back there all the time. Stan Humphries, you see his 15-6 career record as a Charger. He's 20-9 as a starter in the league. But what he brings to this offense is if the plays break down, even though John Freeze is more accurate, Humphries has the ability to scramble around and make a play. That's what this offense was lacking for a while.
And Bobby Becker prized him for years while he was at Washington. Finally got him here. Humphries throws short and complete. Shy of a first down out to the 29-yard line. Harmon out of the backfield. And we mentioned that they wanted to get the ball to Harmon an awful lot, but he's being double teamed.
They're not going to let him get the ball to Harmon. They're going to make him go someplace else. But speaking of double teams, Reggie White gets it again. Brock out on him. Now, you see him come up the field. Brock comes down on him, but who's waiting for him? Milnicek. So the tackle is outside, the guard is outside. Humphrey throws to that side.
Both teams recognizing the people that can hurt them and trying to stop it. Humphries had it tipped at the line of scrimmage and still caught at the 35. Nate Lewis, what hands?
Oh, boy, if you're a quarterback, you rush up there and hug him. Hug him. I mean, you know, you rip his helmet off, give him a big kiss. That was incredible. That should have been an interception. You see those flutter balls go up? That's a big-time play. Right part of your screen. Look at this. Ball's tipped at the line. Two guys go up. Holland's right there. One hands the ball. Nate Lewis with a one-hander.
Last week, 6 catches, 60 yards against Denver. He's coming on. And a first down for the Chargers. Butts trying to run over people, but Leroy Butler came up, sacrificed his body, got a shoulder right in the stomach, and stopped his momentum.
Leroy Butler is a converted corner. A year ago, they decided to move Leroy Butler to safety. He didn't like it because he wanted to be a corner. Now he's really feeling more comfortable. And when he got there last year, he decided that he was going to be like an Atwater or like a Lott, put on some weight. Well, this year he went back and said, I'm going to play it like I have before, lost 10, 15 pounds, really having a Pro Bowl year.
Third on the team in tackles, first in interceptions with 5. He's right down there we talked to last night. 4-man rush. Humphries behind Lewis, and he can't hold it. Good coverage by Roland Mitchell.
You're going to see a real contrast in defenses, Mike. The Green Bay Packers under Ray Rhodes like to go man-to-man with the corners, keep somebody in the hole, and put a lot of people around the line of scrimmage. The San Diego Chargers, with Bill Arnsparger, prefer to play a zone defense. So they've got to get pressure on Favre. Stan Humphries has got to get production out of his wide receivers. They've got to make plays for him.
3 wideouts in the ballgame now as Sean Jefferson checks in 3rd and 9. Humphries floats one for Miller, a stride too far. Buckley was a step behind him. Just missed.
These are the kind of opportunities that the Chargers are going to get. That's not the first big play they're going to take a shot at. Great job by Anthony Miller at the line of scrimmage, freezing Buckley. This ball lands where a quarterback wants it to, but it's a yard too far.
Pryor will go back near his own 20-yard line. John Kidd, who had a beauty his first time, back to punt again. Another fine kick. Pryor takes it at the 19. And brings it back 7 yards to the 26 after a punt of 45. Deems May made the tackle. The Chargers missed by that much on a big play. 7-0 Packers, 6:21 to go first quarter. Green Bay will have the ball again at its own 26-yard line. The last time they had it, they went 66 yards for a score in a balanced drive. Ed West and Jackie Harrison in a 2 tight end set. Favre throws it in the flat and throws it badly to Darrell Thompson.
The Packers have run the ball 5 times tonight. None left outside, none left over the guard, 1 over the right guard, and 4 outside to the right. They're running at Chris Mims, number 94, the left defensive end of the San Diego Chargers. I think that's where Mike Holmgren feels like he wants to attack this football team, running the ball. That means that Mims has got to feel the pressure and be tough at the point of attack.
Here comes the blitz, and Bennett goes nowhere. Right in the middle of it, Gary Plummer, the middle linebacker.
This is something the Chargers do so well. They floated the ball so very well. Plummer's in the middle. He plays off the block of Harry Galbraith and winds up making the tackle.
The idea always behind a Bill Arnsparger defense is put people in positions where they can succeed. 3rd and 10. Favre with the screen, and Bennett can't handle it. A little too high.
Mike, you know what I see in Brett Favre? I see him really jacked up for a big ball game. The swing pass he threw on 1st and 10 was 2 yards in front of the running back. Wasn't even close. I see this one, instead of going back, letting the rush come to him, draw him closer, and making a touch pass for the screen, he rushes it a little bit. He's just got to calm down a little bit. That's what Mike Holmgren's going to have to do with Brett. Just calm him down a little bit on the sideline.
Arian Gordner, that gaudy punt return average, and Brian Wagner having the best season of his long career. Returnable kick. Gordon doing a lot of dancing but not getting much yardage out of it. Across the 40, return of 4 after a kick of 37. Keogh Coleman makes the tackle. First quarter in San Diego, where Green Bay is leading at 7-0, and these aerial shots courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Eagle out of Carson, California. Tom Mattis from Huntington Beach is the pilot.
Great job, Tom.
Just don't drop anybody with a parachute.
Please.
Chargers with excellent field position will start at their own 41.
And you can see the Chargers run out from the sidelines. They do that because the Green Bay Packers do not know what package of receivers and backs is in the game, so they can't adjust to it.
Marion Butts drives the pile forward to the 44-yard line. George Kuntz, one of the inside linebackers, the first man to hit it.
Ray Rhodes, the defensive coordinator, the man in the circle right there. He likes to, it's interesting. What he does is he's watching to see how the Chargers will attack Reggie White, and then he will adjust his defense accordingly. I've never heard a defensive coach explain it that way. We wait to see what they do to Reggie, and then we move him around and make adjustments accordingly.
2nd and 7. Ronnie Harmon on the draw. And that time they invited Reggie White to come upfield on the pass rush and ran by him. Leroy Butler made the tackle.
Well, if you get Reggie White thinking that he's got to come. So what you do now is you turn him loose up the field. Give Reggie a chance to come up the field. You see they moved him out to the defensive end position instead of the tackle position. They put a good wall up in front. And if you're going to double cover Ronnie Harmon if he's out in the pass, give him the ball and let him run with it.
Oh, a nice tackle by Leroy Butler, too. Of course, they have been trying all year to get Ronnie Harmon so much more involved in the offense. And Bobby Ross made a good point. He said, if you have somebody that is constantly hurting you, you're not going to let him go on with it. And that's what teams have been trying to do, take him away from him. Butts. Tony Bennett waiting for him at the 40, and Tony Bennett has helped coming back off that neck injury in the contract holdout.
You know, Mike, it's interesting. The Chargers early came out throwing the football. The Packers play a lot of man-to-man, one-on-one coverage. That's very tempting. If Jack Riley, the offensive coordinator, is sitting here, he's thinking, geez, maybe we'll be able to throw the football. You get away from the discipline of running it. Now it looks like he's gotten back into the discipline of what he has to do with the game. Run the ball first to set up the pass.
Harmon is flanked to the right as a wide receiver. And being covered by Buckley. Butts. Marion Butts inside the 30, first down. They have run effectively, Joe.
They've run effectively, and they've moved the ball around. You'll notice they ran the ball up the middle. Then they ran the draw, get them thinking pass. Now come outside. Tony Bennett on this one's going to try and get a hand on Nate Lewis. Watch down here. Bennett takes a hard inside, and then number 50, Holland, outside, gets a hand on Lewis, and Butts turns the corner on him.
Butts showing you his speed, even though he weighs 248 pounds. Butts again. And this time, Johnny Holland stepped up and took him down after a gain of only a yard. 6 carries, 21 yards so far for Marion Butts. Holland, of course, had the herniated disc, had fusion surgery. They didn't know if he'd be able to play again. They were very concerned about his health. He hasn't had any problems with it coming back. Very bright young man. Mike Pryor checks into the secondary for George Peete for Green Bay. 2nd and 9. Humphries throwing short and throwing incomplete. Not a good pass, low and behind Harmon. Stan has never been a terribly accurate passer.
Well, not on that side. That was a good set and good release, but the good protection came too. Stan Brock was really up for this match against Reggie White. Look what he does. That is great pass blocking position. And that's something that he stressed to us when we met with him on Friday. He said, I've got to keep good pass blocking position. Got to keep myself in front of Reggie. There was an example of one.
3rd and 9. Good protection again for Humphrey. Deep over the middle, Miller, and that ball got there too late. Buckley knocked it down. Miller was open, and Humphries couldn't get it to him. There's Buckley, who said his goal was 20 interceptions this year. He nearly had his 2nd.
Watch up here on the right. What's going to happen is there's going to be a hole right up in here as the receiver comes down. Now, the question is, why did Stan Humphries hold the ball? Set, little pump, fire. Now, you see what happened on that particular play? He waited to see the opening instead of anticipating it being there. He was late with the throw.
John Carney from 47 yards away. He's been a hero and a ghost this year. 1 vote tonight for hero. The Chargers get on the board with 1:54 to go first quarter.
Watch the left part of your screen. That's where the ball's going to go. Humphries goes back on a 7-step drop. And see, he bounced once too many times. And what he did is he did not anticipate the hole. And you see Terrell Buckley come in and try and make a play. He only has 1 interception this year. That would have been another one very easy. That's another one of those Florida State cornerbacks. Leroy Butler, who also plays in the secondary, said, you know, every time you think of the Green Bay Packers, you think of Terrell Buckley. You think of the Atlanta Falcons, you think of Deion Sanders. He said, I'd like people to think of Leroy Butler as being a pretty good cover guy and a pretty good safety.
And he is.
For the Green Bay Packers.
This is the 7th home game for the Chargers this year. They have scored 5, count them, 5 touchdowns.
Terrell Buckley is going through a growth process, Mike, very similar to what I watched Darrell Green go through as a young corner. Has great physical skills. His techniques aren't very good yet. His footwork is sloppy, but as he learns and gets his footwork down, that recovery speed will get him a lot of interceptions.
That was Marcus Wilson, who is back with Corey Harris to receive Carney's kickoff. Packers lead the NFL in returns of 20 or more yards this year. Wilson from the 5. Across the 30 to the 33-yard line. Hope you'll be with us a couple of times this week on Saturday at 11:30 a.m. for NFL Game Day, a special edition. Chris, Tom, and Chris review the Saturday afternoon games. And on Sunday, Joe Theismann joins in at the regular time of noon Eastern for a complete preview of the action. And at 7 prime time, all the highlights of all the games. Then at 8 o'clock, Joe and I will be in the Hoosier Dome as the Eagles take on the Indianapolis Colts. 8 o'clock Eastern. Hope you'll join us then. Favre, nice fake. Dumps it to Bennett. And Bennett planted as he got to the 39. Sayal and Plummer on the tackle.
The stop by Senior Sayal and Harry Plummer.
Mike Holmgren making little notes on his chart. He scripts his plays like a lot of people out of that were discipled out of Bill Walsh's system. He likes to write them down. That way his football team can think about them as they prepare for the first and second drive. Good again, Ron.
Looking for Sharp and finds him. Sterling Sharp to the 47-yard line.
There's a case where Sterling Sharp, if he lines up in one particular position, you can double cover him. In this instance, the Packers move him across the formation. That means you've got to move a lot of people if you want to try and double cover him. And he said, hey, look, I'm not going down the field. Don't even let your cameras go past 20 yards because I'm not going down there. The foot is bothering him so much. The foot is bothering him so much that he just has no explosion and very little speed to run by people.
First and 10, Green Bay at the 46. Bennett on the toss and gets to about the 47-yard line. Sharp is such a fun-loving guy, and he said last night he's not having fun anymore. The injury has limited him so much. His forte is breaking loose of tackles after short catches, and because that foot hurts him so much, he simply doesn't have the push-off to get away from people, and right now he's just trying to protect himself. That's the end of the first quarter in San Diego. The Packers over the Chargers, 7-3. We'll be back in a moment.
Now for the Levi's Loose Jeans Player of the Day.
It's got to be the rookie Jerome Bettis, who battered the Saints for the Rams. They upset New Orleans. Bettis, 28 carries for 212 yards, the fourth best performance ever by a rookie running back. Back to Mike and Joe.
Boy, Chris, that was sensational to see the highlights that Jerome Bettis turned in today against a great defense.
Which traditionally has been a great defense, but he had 125 of those in the first quarter.
Brown Chuck.
Brown Jerome.
Favre on 2nd and 9 for Sharp, and he couldn't get there. And I will guarantee you that's because of the foot injury. Otherwise, he catches that in stride.
Absolutely. The foot's keeping him a little bit back from it. But where you win go routes is not with your speed. It's right there, right at the line. See how he freezes them? And physically, Franks tries to take him on, and you can't do that with Sterling Sharp. You cannot physically take him on because he will cast you aside and get up the field. If he has two good feet, that's a big gainer.
He dropped the pass last week at the end of the game and was vilified in a couple of columns in the press. I mean, this guy's one of the finest receivers that ever played the game. 3rd and 9. And Favre is going to have to use a timeout. Just into the second quarter, 7-3, and Favre will go to the sideline to talk to Mike Holmgren.
Mike, you know, it's interesting. Favre had to call a timeout because the 40 or 25-second clock was running down. What the San Diego Chargers have, and they've not had a problem at all this year with the game clock, is because on their practice field, they actually have a 25 or 40-second clock that is used on Fridays at practice so that when Stan Humphries is quarterbacking and Bobby Ross is running his practices, they know exactly how to run the plays. They get into a game tempo. So they know how much time they have to substitute. They know how much time they have to call plays. Therefore, you don't see them running into the same kind of problems that we see with the Packers, or, for example, like the Kansas City Chiefs had earlier today, having to use up timeouts.
And leave it to Bobby Ross to come up with something like that. Throughout his coaching career, he has always planned everything down to the last detail. Packers having trouble hearing. Favre goes down, tries to throw it at the last moment, but Blaze Winter was the man who got there first.
Yeah, but you know who sets that up is Junior Seau. Junior Seau is such a great blitzer. I mean, he's a great athlete, but what he really can do is create problems. Watch number 55. He's going to come in, run a little spinner move. Blaze is going to come around and be absolutely free. Here it comes. There's the spinner. Here comes Blaze around. What Seau did is he took up both blockers, the center and the guard that was supposed to come out and help. Couldn't get it done.
The Packers very concerned about the speed of Junior Seau. Blaze Winter took advantage of it that time. Brian Wagner to punt to Darian Gordon. Crowd reacting because it didn't count as a sack. It was ruled an incomplete pass. Blaze Winter isn't going to be too happy about it either. Beautiful floating kick. Gordon comes up to make the fair catch at 22. Punt of only 31 yards, but no return. And the ex-Packer, Blaze Winter, now in a Charger uniform.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by McDonald's. What you want is what you get at McDonald's today. And by Radio Shack, your Christmas electronics store.
Beautiful San Diego, where Green Bay is leading San Diego 7-3, 14:42 to go. First half of play. Mike Patrick, Joe Theismann, our entire ESPN crew with you. Bill Arnsparger trying to work his magic against Brett Favre, and did on the last series.
Well, what he did is they started with the zones, and I'm sure that's what Brett's talking to upstairs about, is they came at him with zones, tried to confuse him. But he's taken such short sets, they figure, well, if you're getting passes to Harris and you're getting the ball short to Sterling Sharp, we may as well blitz Junior Seau instead of dropping him back in zones where he can't be effective in disrupting the offense.
They were very effective blitzing John Elway a week ago. 40-second clocks are out at both ends of the field. Natron Means will check into the backfield for the first time. What's it like as a quarterback down there when you can't see the clock?
You got one in your head. You have a clock in your head, and you're in that rhythm, and it shouldn't bother you.
Humphries to throw. Flag is down. Miller. Nice tackle by Roland Mitchell not to let Miller get away from him. They'll check the penalty. Howard Rowe, our referee tonight.
You know, Mike, the thing is because the Chargers practice with the clock so much, like I say on Fridays.
All right, to the snap. We got a false start on number 67 offense. A 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
The Chargers
reset the game clock to show 14:42.
The Chargers.
You done, Howard?
Howard, can I talk now? They shouldn't be affected by it because you just practice it so long and you get that clock in your head. So.
Humphries comes out now on 1st and 15. Means. The big man with the quick feet, and this time he's buried as he got to the 19-yard line. Reggie White and Bryce Poff. Reggie leads the down lineman in tackles.
Reggie White. You know, I really think that his position is tackle. If he plays over the in the tackle position or over the nose, he's a lot more effective in that position than he is as an end. I think you can almost block him as one person if he's an end.
2nd and 13.
He moves just before he's moving.
Humphries and knocked away. Excellent coverage. Kuntz is there, as was Bryce Poff, and they were all over Ronnie Harmon. That's the double team we were talking about.
They want to take away Harmon. They want to make sure that he does not make plays with the ball. But again, a great job by Stan Brock. And I want you to watch Reggie White's arms. When he gets into the blocker, see how he tries to extend him? See how he's trying to get Brock away from him? push him away. That's just brute force. Making sure he can get away, and then Brock goes down and cuts him at the last minute. Got a real war going on between these two.
Stan Humphries has missed his last 5. He's only 2 of 8. Under pressure, sidearms it to Harmon, and Buckley is right there. Excellent defense by the Packers on that series.
And you know what's interesting? You got to give credit to the Packers, yeah. But the fact is the first play of that series was a 10-yard gain that was nullified because one of your offensive linemen jumped offside. So instead of working from the 30-yard line, now you got a punch from the 20.
Absolutely. And John Kidd stands at his 5. Pryor waits near his own 40-yard line. Penalty flag is down. Kidd with a line drive kick. Pryor with room. Across midfield, we'll check the penalty for you. Return of 9 after a punt on a line of 38 yards.
Doug Toole.
And it's a delay. And with the clocks out that time, they did get caught.
We have an illegal substitution. 29 of the kicking team failed to report and go inside the numbers. Penalties decline. First down.
So it wasn't a clock play. It was an illegal substitution. They'll decline the penalty. We'll be back in a moment. Seven-3, Green Bay, San Diego. Reggie White, of course, on your right. And guess what? Reggie White, of course, on your left.
That's right. Reggie White of the San Diego Chargers. The Reggie White on your left is hoping that he gets one of the Reggie White on the right's checks.
Now, here's the comparison. Reggie White of the Packers, 134-7 in games, 852-2 in tackles, 134.5-1 in sacks, 7-0 in Pro Bowls, and just a slight discrepancy in salary.
When you talk to the Chargers, Reggie White, he says, what's the difference between us? He says $16 million.
But he's just getting started in his career. Darrell Thompson, the single setback, and he's flushed in the backfield. Sean Lee out of North Alabama.
The stop by number 98.
The other connection between these Reggies is Reggie White of the Packers high school coach turned out to be the line coach in college of Reggie White of the Chargers.
That's got to be great for him to have, first of all, both Reggies playing, but secondly, both young men that he's coached playing in the National Football League.
The young Reggie out of North Carolina A&T, only his second year. They were separated at Worth.
Blitz.
Favre throwing off his back foot, and it's picked up by Carrington. Darren Carrington with his 4th interception, and Brett Favre had nothing on that ball.
And that has been Brett Favre's problem all year long. We talked about it earlier, Mike. He got pressure on him. He threw it up. He had the one-on-one coverage, but instead of being able to get something on the ball, it hung in the air for him. The blitz is coming inside. Here comes Plummer this time. Scott free. Favre throws off his back foot and just hangs up a snowbird for Carrington to come over and pick off. That ball just hangs in the air. He doesn't have a chance to step into it, and when you've got people hanging over you, it's tough to make a throw. People don't realize you don't throw just with your arm. You've got to get your body into it.
4 picks for Carrington, 19 for Brett Favre. Means the deep man in the arm. And Humphries goes to the air on first down, throws the bomb, intended for Lewis, and Butler picks it up. Leroy Butler. What a return across midfield to the 47. Butler with 6 interceptions, and he returns that one 39 yards.
We were talking about Leroy Butler having an all-pro year. He certainly has showed it tonight. Made a great force in the first quarter. Now runs and picks over. There's Leroy Butler. Humphries wants to go here. He's just going to take off and head for the corner. Butler's hanging in the middle. This is a bad decision by Stan Humphries. Actually, they were in 2 deep coverage. If he wanted to go to Lewis, he should have got the ball up a lot quicker than he did. Great job of, look at him go up at the ball. Every coach talks about go up and get it at its height. That time he did.
Great position for the Packers at the San Diego 48. Bennett. Only about a yard. Now tied for the NFL lead, and he said he wants the respect that he is due, and certainly he is. Out of Jacksonville, Florida, tells a great story about being recruited at Florida State.
And Bobby Bowden had to go into his neighborhood, and Bobby was scared to death. I know Bobby's watching tonight. He can remember that story as well. He was scared to death going in to talk to Leroy, but he got out okay and wound up having himself a great football player at Florida State.
Comes the blitz. Bennett on the draw. Perfect call against that defense and down to the 35-yard line for Edgar Bennett, first down.
San Diego Chargers have changed their philosophy completely from the beginning of the game. Bill Arnsparger's decided the best way to go after Favre is to go after him. Watch this. Junior Seau coming on in. So now you're going to get 5 guys coming and putting pressure on him. This time they do an excellent job of picking up the blitz. Harry Galbraith does a great job on Junior Seau, and the draw runs right by him.
Bennett, 8 carries, 30 yards, first half. Favre in the flat to Sterling Sharp. Pulls away from the defender, even with that bad foot, and picks up 4 or 5 more yards. He is on the way to his second straight 100-catch season. Nobody's ever caught 100 balls in 2 years, ever. He's going to do it back-to-back.
And, Michael, if he didn't have that record sitting there waiting for him, he wouldn't be playing. He couldn't play. I mean, what he's doing is absolutely incredible. I mean, you have to know how much pain this man is in. He's got a turf toe and an Achilles tendon problem on the same foot.
They say it swells up to about 3 times its normal size after the game. Favre, naked bootleg, and what a play. Chris Mims wasn't buying the play fake at all.
Sometimes you go to the well too often. They got away with the big play to Edgar Bennett early. Watch Chris Mims. This time, instead of coming down, he's going to take an angle of contain, which he should have done the first time. Has Favre in his sights all the way. This is a repeat of a big play they had early. This time they didn't fool Mims.
Chris Mims with 7 sacks. He had 10 as a rookie. 3rd and 16. Favre completes it short of the first down. Morgan makes the catch at the 31. They picked him up off the waiver wire from Chicago. And it looked like that play was designed to get enough yardage to put Chris Jackie in field goal position.
That's an excellent call by Mike Holmgren and an excellent throw by Brett Favre. You want to keep your throws inside the field, low, where only your guys can get them, and you want to pick up enough yards to get in a field goal range if possible, and that's what they've accomplished on this play.
51-yard attempt. He has had 3 over 50 this year in a brilliant season. Make it 4. Chris Jackie has hit 27 of 30 field goals this year, and he puts the Packers up by 7. 9:12 to go first half. A 51-yard Chris Jackie field goal has made it a 7-point game, and Jackie will kick away for the Packers. Booms this one, and Lewis has to retreat 8 yards deep in the end zone. San Diego will start from the 20. Be with us tomorrow night at 7:30, NFL Prime Monday. Mike Tirico, Tom Jackson, and Craig James preview the Monday night game between the Steelers and the Dolphins. Live reports from Joe Robbie Stadium with Chris Berman. Chris Mortensen will have all the breaking news around the NFL. And downtown, Julie Brown goes backstage with Steeler linebacker Greg Lloyd. All that and a lot more, 7:30 Prime Monday tomorrow night.
And I want to thank my good buddy Tommy Jackson for filling in for me while I'm out on the West Coast on Prime Monday. Be back next week.
Natron Means in the backfield and a lot of movement and flags everywhere.
Boy, if this is an offside penalty against the Chargers again, it'll be the second straight series in a row.
Prior to the snap, we got 70. False start, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Mike Zandowski, the left guard.
You know what I'd do? I would not huddle at the sideline anymore. I would get my guys out on the field, let them walk up to the line of scrimmage, get themselves set, because this is the second time in a row that they've had that happen.
First and 15 inside the 15. Humphries has hit one of his last 8, but one of his last 9, nearly picked off. It went off of Lewis, and Leroy Butler nearly had his second interception of the evening.
Reggie White is so powerful. He gets up, tries the swim move, then he comes up and under with a rip, then locks back in, and Milenchek tries to hold him off and does an excellent job giving Humphries a chance to throw the football someplace.
Harmon motion. They'll throw it to him, and Reggie White batted it down at the line of scrimmage. Now, Reggie White said something that was fascinating to me last night, where he said he has never been in a situation with the Packers coaching staff. They come up and pat him on the back and tell him how good he's been doing, even when he wasn't playing well early. He said he's never had that happen before. That amazed me.
Well, the thing about, look at a great hurdle move. What a great athletic move that was. The thing is when you're a superstar, coaches don't think you need a pat on the back. And that was the one thing that impressed Reggie about Mike Holmgren, was his real down-to-earth nature.
San Diego will call a timeout, and Stan Humphries limps to the sideline with 8:57 to go first half. Early in the season, the Packers and Reggie White were struggling with their confidence. We asked Reggie what turned it around for him and the club.
Greg Bloch put him in his office and assured me that he felt that I meant more to the team than just making plays, and that the plays were going to come, and that I needed to stop putting pressure on myself. And that was the first time a coach ever did that. You know, really give me a pat on the back and say, hey, man, you know, we're satisfied with the direction that you're going, with the direction our defense is going, our team. You know, don't put this type of pressure on yourself. And then Coach Mike came to me and assured me the same thing.
If I was Reggie White's coach, I'd come up to him every morning and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Humphries staying in the ballgame. They throw a screen to Harmon. Blockers in front. And the Packers do a great job. Johnny Holland with a sensational play. Perfect technique for a linebacker. Played off a block, got up and made the stop.
You know, we were talking about Reggie White and how he plays. There's Greg Blanchet. As a matter of fact, Greg and I were quarterbacks at the University of Notre Dame together. Now he's coaching defensive linemen. And he come a long way. But again, Mike, that series, you can give a lot of credit to the Packers, but it's tough to get first downs when you're starting 1st and 15 all the time in this league.
John Kidd has had a busy first half. Pryor waits at his 40. Again, a returnable punt. Pryor from the 46. Near the San Diego 41-yard line. A return of 14 after a low kick of 36. Hope you'll be with us Tuesday, December 28th, 7:30 for an ESPN NFL special. For the first time ever, the Pro Bowl Selection Show. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, and Joe Theismann exclusively announced this year's Pro Bowl team for both the AFC and the NFC. And don't forget, you as a fan have a say. You can pick up a ballot and vote at stadiums, Radio Shack stores throughout the country, and in USA Today until Saturday, December 18th. Get out and vote. I think Reggie is assured of another trip. Been there every year but one. Favre. Sterling Sharp picks up 12, first down to the 29-yard line.
When we had a chance to talk to Sterling last night, he said he expects to make 7 catches a game. This is just a simple square out, Frank giving him lots of room. But he doesn't want to make the catches that way with his back to the defender. He would love to get the ball 7 times and face up on the defender. He wants a chance to face people. I don't think it'd do him a whole lot of good right now with that bad foot, but I'm sure he would prefer it that way.
90 catches, only 10 more to go to hit 100 for the second time in a row. Thompson, who had a brilliant career at Minnesota as a running back. Chris Mims made the tackle. They are even throwing to Sterling Sharp more this year than they did a year ago. 141 times as compared to 117 coming into tonight. His yardage is down a little bit, but he had 86 catches coming in. As you saw, he's already had 4 tonight and is just an exceptional receiver. Favre in the flat. Thompson, and Thompson was looking at the defender as Darian Gordon was coming over to cover him, and he couldn't hold it.
Man, I think we're finding out a little bit about Brett Favre as far as, at least as I am watching what he does well and what he's struggling with a little bit. I think the swing passes right now are a little bit rushed. And if you rush them, they don't have a touch on it, and you don't get the guy, the running back, a chance to really make the catch and then focus on making a move. I think he's rushing him just a little.
And that's not as easy as a throw as it looks either.
I think it's tough as throwing football.
Play clock back in action. Here comes the blitz. Favre hits Sharp over the middle, down near the 25-yard line.
It looks like the Chargers are just not going to allow the Green Bay Packers to come out and make a big play. They're going to put pressure on Favre, make them get rid of the football, and then tackle the wide receivers. That's looking like what they want to do. This is the 3rd consecutive series for the Packers that has started inside the 50, and all they've gotten so far was 3 points prior to this try.
Chris Jackney now 2nd all-time in field goal accuracy, only behind Nick Lowry. And another perfect shot, and he just looks like he punches the ball, and it goes forever. Jackie with a pair of field goals. The Packers also have a touchdown, and they lead at 13-3. These teams, or the Packers rather, lost a couple of heartbreaking games early in the year. I still think they look like one of the best teams in the NFL. Of course, this game is big for them, but for the Chargers, it is absolutely mandatory. The Chargers have five clubs in front of them in the playoff race for the wild card, and they only have 4 games left. Buffalo at 9-4. They have the Raiders, Denver left, the Jets at 8-5 have Pittsburgh, San Diego. And the schedule for the San Diego Chargers, the last game of the season there at Kansas City next week. And what a huge game for them, and a big game for Kansas City after the loss today. Nate Lewis, the center deep man, waits at the 5. Jackie again drives him toward the end zone. He'll take it out from the goal line. And doesn't make the 20-yard line. Joe Mott on special teams makes the tackle for Green Bay. Packer offensive line going over what they'll try the next time and what San Diego has been doing against them. So far, they've done an outstanding job.
Both offensive lines have done a great job. And, you know, Courtney Hall has really been holding the San Diego Charger offensive line together. And there's a guy who plays all-pro caliber football. He's the only guy there that's back from a year ago when they finished up in the playoffs.
But he's back in at running back, and he'll get the call. Not much across the 20.
What do you look for in centers to make plays? And Courtney Hall is, like I said, one of the best. Watch this. He's going to move this way, make a chip, and then he's going to come around and make the block. So he's really getting hands on 2 people. There's the little chip. Now he slides and makes a block and makes a play.
Got out of high school at age 12 and out of Rice at age 16. Humphrey to Lewis. Makes a nice move to get away from Kuntz and Holland, but then nowhere to go as he crosses the 30 for a first down.
We showed you Courtney Hall run blocking before. How does he do as a pass blocker? This is up against Bill Moss, number 77. Gets that hand on him first, gets that hand out, pushes him away, then squares up, makes sure he doesn't get to the quarterback, gives Humphreys a nice lane to throw the football.
5:05 and counting, first half. San Diego needs an answer to the scoreboard that reads 13-3 right now. Four-man rush, draw, Harmon, nothing. Bryce Paup was right there, along with Reggie. Bryce Paup got a chance to play a lot more this year, and he has really come through. 10.5 sacks.
You know, Michael, when you look at the play selection that an offense makes sometimes, it gives you an idea of the respect that they have for their defensive line. We've seen the Chargers run 2 draws tonight. That means to tell you that they respect the pass rushing ability of the Green Bay Packers.
2nd and 9. Humphreys completes to Miller. First down. Miller fighting for yardage out to the 45-yard line. Buckley makes the tackle. Gain of 15.
Anthony Miller is a guy you've got to get in the game a lot quicker than this. They finally got him in. All this is a little quick turn route. Does a good job of pushing Buckley off. Cradles up on the ball and fights for some extra yardage. He's a guy, he's your big play guy. They had the chance to get the touchdown to him before on the big play. You can't let him get too far away from catching the ball.
2 straight 1,000-yard seasons, 3 Pro Bowls. Here comes the blitz. They picked it up well, and Humphreys throws short to Miller. And nice job again by Roland Mitchell. He has made 3 difficult open field tackles tonight on big-time receivers who could have gone another 20 yards.
Wait a second, I have another move of Reggie White's for you. This time, let's go to the bull rush. Look at the leverage he has. And look at the job Brock does. I'll tell you, Stan Brock has done a great job one-on-one tonight. But Reggie White's throwing all kinds of different things at him.
2nd and 6 for the Chargers. Floats it for Miller, and there will be a flag on this one. No! The official reached for the flag after the contact by Mitchell. Reached for it, and then said no.
Mike, I got to tell you something. They talk about what they can do for the game of professional football to improve offensive production. I have not 10 suggestions like a bunch of other people. I have one suggestion, and that is the officials have got to do a better job. Look at his right arm. I mean, now he grabs his right arm. You got to be kidding me. The officials have got to call it. You cannot touch the receiver after 5 yards. That's bad officiating. Look at this. Left arm lockup, right arm lockup.
And the official reached for the flag and then decided not. Humphreys throws on the run, knocked away. Butler with another big-time play to knock it down in front of the tight end, Alfred Popunu.
But the Chargers should not have had to try and make a 3rd down play like that.
Exactly.
See, to me, they've really gotten laxed on the 5-yard chuck rule. I mean, the officials have done a lousy job calling it, to be perfectly honest with you. Forget lax. They just don't do it anymore. If you can get those receivers up past the 5 yards, running and making catches again, you're going to get more production.
Kidd will have to punt again, and Pryor waits at the 10. Beautiful kick. Pryor taking a spare catch, lets it go, and it bounces. Did they save it? It looks like they did at the 1. A 48-yard punt, and tremendous play on special teams.
Marquez Pope. What an incredible job. That ball was heading to the middle of the end zone. He just launched himself and made the play.
The ball has to hit in the end zone on punts to be in the end zone. Look at that.
The fact is, see, he can be in the air in the end zone. Watch the right part of your screen. See, he leaves the ground in the field of play and swats it back out. What a great play.
Pope, a second-year man out of Fresno State, and puts the Packers 99 yards away. Bennett barely got out of the end zone, and I mean barely. Bobby Ross wants the safety. He's not going to get it.
He also wants a timeout, and he is going to get it. Chargers deciding to bring everybody. There's the 4 guys up front. Now watch the linebackers fill in behind it. Here come the linebackers. Who else? Another All-Pro, Junior Seau, right in the middle of it. Leslie O'Neal does an excellent job spinning to get away, but Bennett barely gets out.
And Sean Lee was the man under the pile.
That man plays with just a little bit of emotion.
Packers were very concerned about his speed. As you pointed out earlier, they wanted a couple of misdirection plays to take advantage of that speed, get him going the wrong way.
This is a place where if I'm going to throw the ball to somebody, Mark Clayton has been totally silent.
Yep.
Has not been seen. He's probably the fastest of the receivers out there, with Sterling having a bad foot right now. I got to assume that the Chargers are going to come after Brett Favre. I would max block everybody and try and get a one-on-one matchup down the field and hang it up. And maybe an official will throw a flag. No guarantee, but maybe an official will throw a flag.
You saw Mark Clayton, who had made 29 catches this year, compared with Sterling Sharp's 90 on the other side. Favre to throw, Sharp double covered, and there's a flag. And the fans are going to come out of their seats on this one, after they didn't get the call, and then the Packers do on the other side.
Illegal use of hands.
And Sterling Sharp nodding yes.
Illegal hands. Number 27 on the defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's Donald Frank, the left corner.
That's Donald Frank right there, left corner. This is the 5 yards. That's where he's allowed to hit him. Anything after that, the flag comes out. You can't touch him now. You can't touch him. You can't do that. I mean, that's... It's nothing compared to what happened.
No, I was going to say.
I mean, let's face it, the official blew the one to Miller. This one allows the Packers out of a hole.
Compared to the Miller call, he just waved at him as he went by.
I hope the officials do this the rest of the season and on in, too. You're going to see production change on offense.
It's a huge first down for the Packers. Bennett. All the way out to the 14-yard line. Seau was coming hard up the middle and overran the play.
There's a case where Junior Seau just tries to take a gap, makes a wrong guess, winds up slicing in. They take it outside of him.
We have reached the 2-minute warning in San Diego, where the Packers lead the Chargers 13-3. 2 minutes to go, first half, 13-3 Green Bay. Coming up at halftime, the fastest 3 minutes in television with Chris Berman. Run down all the highlights. After further review, Chris and Tom Jackson. And they'll be taking a look at Montana against Elway today, the big matchup in Denver. And back to Jack Murphy. And Joe will talk about the first half and what's going on here. Packers have a 2nd and 1 near their own 15. Bennett has the first down and more. Chased out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Darren Carrington makes the tackle.
Junior Seau again came inside scot-free. Edgar Bennett showing some good quickness and speed to get outside. All he did was turn the corner. Number 55 is going to shoot the gap. There he comes, basically untouched. But he just takes a bad angle inside, and you can see all he's looking at is what every defensive player regrets. That's the other guy's name running away from him.
Favre to throw. Intended for Harris, knocked away, nearly picked off. Carrington made the hit, looked like he might have gotten there just a little bit early, but a pretty good defensive play by the strong safety.
He was making a great play on the ball. That's what that was. That was just a great play going after the ball. Good throw, good route, good defensive play.
Johnson has the pick earlier tonight.
And that's a great place for a mouthpiece. Up on the right side of your helmet. You never lose it up there.
Will Seau be coming again on 2nd and 10? Thompson trying to get outside. Can't turn the corner.
And there's a case where Darrell Thompson really wasn't thinking. He ran out of bounds. Now, if it's third down, what he did is he did the San Diego Chargers a big favor. I think if you're struggling, if it's maybe you don't run out of bounds and stop the clock. Maybe you go down and let the coach make a decision on whether he wants to keep on trying for it or run the clock out.
Stops the clock with 1:42 to go. Chargers have 1 timeout left, so that could have been a huge failure.
I'm not going to get the ball.
O'Neal after Favre. And Leslie O'Neal with a sack at the 20.
Now the Chargers have to call timeout real quick.
A loss of 11 and his 11th sack of the season.
Brett Favre wants to go to Sharp. This time he's inside the 5 yards. And what he does is he creates a problem for Sharp. He's got nowhere to go with the football. Leslie O'Neal, just a good speed rush. Ken Rutgers has had no problem blocking people over there on the left side. That time, Leslie O'Neal just used his quickness to get around him.
So with 1:36 to go in the half, Wagner will come on to kick it away. Nolan Cromwell, his special teams coach, was very happy with the way Wagner has played this year. He said he always knew he could kick it high and place it, but he didn't know he could have this kind of distance, averaging 43.8, which is number 5 in the conference.
You know what I do if I'm the Chargers here? You got really a choice. Darian Gordon's 6 of his last 11 punts have been over 30 yards, so you set up a return, or you go after the punter, and maybe you get a running into penalty, which is only 5 yards, doesn't matter. I personally think you set up for the return because you got a guy who's done a great job.
Gordon has not been able to break one tonight. They set up the return, and it's a returnable kick. Gordon on the run at the 41. And again, San Diego will have tremendous field position as they take over after a return of 13 and pushing and shoving after the tackle. Let's give you another look at the non-interference call when Anthony Miller was going deep down the sideline.
Watch the left hand. There's the left hand locking up. Now the ball's still in here. Now watch the right hand. Now the right hand, he literally tackles him.
Jeez.
And just to the right of that is an official who's reaching for a flag. And instead, now there, Sterling Sharp just goes a little inside. Now here comes the flag.
And that was at about 5.5 yards,
Yeah,
which is a little picky.
I'll be honest with you. I think that happened to do with the fact that they got up around his face mask, maybe.
Humphries trying to get something going on offense. Throws. Miller took his eye off the ball and dropped it. Perfect throw by Humphries. You said earlier, somebody makes a great catch, you run up and hug him. What do you do after that?
Well, you just pat him on the back and say, don't worry about it, Anthony. You know, we'll get another chance. You never want to get down on a guy. You want to encourage him. Comes in, goes up, got a shot at it, takes his eye off it. Absolutely just took it. Watch his head. See, he's got it. Now he's looking to see who's coming. That's what happens when you got a guy like Leroy Butler who wants to get people. Oh, where's the hole?
Over the middle. This one is complete. At the 27-yard line, Papunu makes the catch. There's a flag down, and I think Reggie White was being held. Looked like Stan Brock had him one-on-one. That's the other value of a Reggie White. If he doesn't get the sack, he creates the penalty.
He creates problems.
Holding number 70 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
They'll call it on Zandowski, but I guarantee you Brock was holding too.
Well, on the left side, you see, right there, you see him on that left side. This is a great, that's just a great move inside. Well, a great quickness by Bryce Powell. If you double team Reggie White, someplace somebody's got to be one-on-one. That's exactly what happened there.
2nd and 20, so the big play comes back. Humphries throws short to Harmon. That's where he's the most dangerous after the catch. Tremendous player. Gain of 13 with 1:04 left, and we'll set up a 3rd and 7.
Reggie White continues to be the focal point. There he is down here. Now, Courtney Hall, after he snaps the ball, he's going to come on out and help out on the right side. He's looking for Reggie. They got 2-on-1. He's holding up Stan Brock.
3rd and 7. First down, Lewis makes the catch at the 37-yard line. And the referee continues to wind the clock, which is a call I have never understood when the man goes out of bounds.
How can he not be out of bounds? You know, the officials get a D so far as I'm concerned tonight.
Clock running, 40 seconds to go. Humphries with a touch pass complete. Let's see if that one's out of bounds. Miller at the 15.
What a beautiful job of Stan Humphries working one side of the field. He's got Ronnie Harmon down underneath. He runs Anthony Miller out on the corner. But I want to show you the one before it that made him use up some of the clock. Watch the right part of your screen. Okay? To me, this guy's out of bounds. He's tackled out of bounds. What are we playing, two-hand touch?
Now, what the official is going to say is his forward progress was stopped inbounds, so the clock continues to run, and I don't get it.
I don't either.
Important drive for the Chargers with 33 seconds to go, and Humphries has been as sharp as he has all night. Floats it for the end zone, and out of the end zone to Jefferson. He had beaten Roland Mitchell, and a foot too far.
I think Stan Humphries is just going to get better and better. I love the way he throws this. He just throws it a little bit late. This is a perfect fade route. He gets the ball up high like you're trying to drop it in a basket. But he just doesn't get it out quick enough. This thing takes off. It's turning over beautiful, but you see Jefferson really doesn't have a chance. That's the kind of thing he's going to get better and better at.
Chargers have no timeouts. Humphries floats another one. This one almost picked off by Mitchell. The receiver stopped short, and Mitchell was the only man who had a crack at it.
All right, Mike, got 22 seconds left. You've got 3rd down. You have to throw the ball in the end zone, or at least inside the 5. That's where you got to get the pass to. So Stan Humphries can hold this because they're within field goal range. You don't have to worry about a sack right here. But you try and get the ball in and get it in the end zone, or make the completion, get the first down, and ground it.
Because with 22 seconds, you would have time to kill the clock. Big rush. Bryce Pop forced him out, and John Yurkovich gets the sack.
They got to hustle now, though. See, once that ball gets spotted after the sack, they're going to start the clock. This is where you have to have your special teams coach on his toes and getting him out on the field, and that's exactly what Chuck Pfeiffer's done. Will be a 43-yard attempt for Carney, and they've got plenty of time. You're right, they really hustled out there. And John Carney makes the hustle pay off with a 43-yarder. And the Chargers, with an impressive drive near the end of the half, have gotten on the scoreboard again. Sure, you were exactly right. That's why you talked about the practice habits earlier. Working with the clock and working under simulated game conditions rather than just slopping through a practice. Yeah, I don't think you can relax in those areas. I was talking to Chuck yesterday. We were talking about special teams plays. Look at the Philadelphia Eagle game today. Visek-Ahem was one of the finest return men in football. Look at the San Francisco game yesterday. You've got problems handling punts, handling kickoffs. It's special teams plays that are making a difference. Look at the field goals they tried in the game today with the Eagles. I mean, that was ugly. So special teams, although, you know, it doesn't, everybody likes to see touchdowns and sacks and interceptions. Special team play, particularly in this year, has been very important.
Working with us tonight, the Goodyear Blimp Eagle, based in Carson, California. And Goodyear, of course, one of the world's most enduring corporate symbols, providing these beautiful aerial pictures. Goodyear Blimps flying over major sporting events since 1925. Wilson and Harris are deep to receive with 4 seconds left. You squib this?
I would say this baby doesn't get more than 3 feet off the ground.
And it only did that because of a bounce.
Looked like one of my drives.
Taken by one of the up men. And they stopped the clock with 1 second left.
Now, a lot of people wonder, I'm sure they're wondering, and some people who maybe don't know the rules, the clock only starts when a receiving member touches the ball. Not when it's kicked off the tee, but when a receiving member touches the ball. So that's why, you know, you figure, geez, that was longer than 4 seconds, but it really wasn't.
Well, you got the last one right. What do you do here with 1 second left?
And that happens only in the last 2 minutes. Kneel down.
I like it.
I'm on a roll.
1 for 1.
1 for.
Stan Humphries having to be carted off. The Packers kill the clock. That's the end of the first half. The score, the Packers 13, the Chargers 6. Now let's join Chris Berman for the Acura halftime report.
All right, Michael, thank you. So the Pack leading at the Murph by a touchdown. We'll be going back there in a moment. You know, when the schedule came out way before the season started, you circled Kansas City at Denver, Joe Montana at John Elway. But so often those games you look forward to for weeks and months don't live up to their expectations. Today, Kansas City at Denver was one that did not disappoint. Joe Montana, would that end all of the Kansas City and Marty Schottenheimer ghosts at Mile High? Well, John Elway found Shannon Sharp not once, not twice, but he found him 3 times in the end zone, 10 times in all. The Chiefs led 14-3, but not in Mile High. Denver beats them for the 11th straight time, 27-21, to move within a game in the AFC West. Also trying to move within a game in the AFC West, the Raiders. Tim Brown coming into his own as his receiver this year. He's already been a great return man. Bleckenham returned the punt 74 yards against the Seahawks, who rallied late, but the Raiders go to 8-5, win at 27-23. Colts at the Giants. Wake up, it's LZ. No times for Z's when Rodney Hampton pounding had 173 yards against the Colts. Phil Simms to Chris Cab Calloway. Had a ho. Giants clinch playoff berth 20-6. Jimmy Johnson Cowboys try to win to keep just one behind the Giants. At Minnesota, Troy Aikman hit Michael Irvin 8 times for 125 yards. 2 plays later on this drive, Aikman, Irvin, Hader, Cowboys offense in a big way, 37-20. 1-11 Cincy at 1-11 New England. Oh, what a great game it was. Drew Bledsoe to Ben Winter coached. 7-0 Pats, but the Patriots had special team miscues. Mike Saxon's miscue on a punt puts the Bengals in business, but they're stymied on a 4th and 1. The safety, whoop, we just snap it into the band. Cincy gets 2, but it's not enough. The Patriots win at 7-2. Buddy Ryan's defense, could it help the Oilers win their 8th straight? Against Cleveland and Vinny Testaverde, Vinny looked good, but Chris Dishman, his 4th pick in as many games. Matt Stover's 57-yard field goal late in the game, no good. Houston beats Cleveland 19-17. Jim Kelly took a beating, had to leave the game, but Frank Lloyd Wright, architect of the comebacks for the Bills. Ties it at 7. They go ahead 10-7 to the Eagles. Time ticking down. Could Matt Barr tie it and send it into overtime? It's up. It's no good. The Bills come from behind to eke one at Philly, 10-7. Rams at the Saints. Saints' first home game in a month. And what the fans saw was the rookie Jerome Bettis battering his way through the Saints defense. I said battering his way through the Saints defense. I said rumbling his way through the Saints defense. 212 yards. Only 3 rookie backs have ever rushed for more in a game. One of them named Jim Brown. Rams upset the Saints 23-20. New starting quarterback for Detroit, Eric Kramer. Touchdown to Rodney Holman at Phoenix. Kramer, the color of money, Willie Green. A late 4th quarter rally, stymied by the Lions. Ryan McNeil with the pickoff. Lions stay in first, winning 21-14. Bears at the Bucks. Courtney Hawkins spinning, twirling. Bears get a suntan. The Bucks actually feel that they can vault back into playoff competition. Well, not quite, but their defense held. And the Bears have won at San Diego. They've won at Kansas City. They've won at Detroit. But they can't win at the Big Sombrero. Buccaneers with the upset, 13-10. When we return after further review, Joe Montana, John Elway, this game, well, we could look at it all night long. We will in a moment.
This halftime report is presented by Acura. Some things are worth the price.
It's nice to know someone did their Christmas shopping. Tom Jackson joins me here as the Pack lead the Lightning Bolts 13-6 at the half. And I'll tell you, Elway, Montana, Kansas City at Denver, this was probably the game of the year even after further review. All eyes were on the quarterbacks, the maestro, Joe Montana. Look at him find Willie Davis just conducting his receivers like an orchestra, Tommy.
Yeah, and here, Chris, you see the great touch. Good coverage by Tyrone Braxton, but not good enough to keep Joe Montana from sticking the ball right where it needs to be.
Montana can still catch the receiver in stride. That's to Willie Davis for a touchdown. The Chiefs led it 14-3 before the Broncos came from behind to win it 27-21. Tommy, I mean, every player on the Chiefs now knows, just like every player on the 49ers always knew that with Montana, they're going to be involved in the offense at some point.
Yeah, I think 3 points to make about Montana. First of all, you saw him today throw the ball to every area of the football field. He can still throw the deep ball. He can give you the touch. He can look the safety off and deliver the ball to the far sideline. The strong arm, he still has it. Number 2, he allows his receivers finally to get in mental sync with him. Earlier in the season, they were dropping a lot of balls because they didn't know that in the middle of double coverage, he can put the ball on the numbers. And I think the third thing about Joe Montana is that he lifts everybody to another level of play on that team, offensively and defensively.
Well, if he's the maestro, I think today we saw another example of why your ex-teammate John Elway is the magician. He just churning with the legs and churning with the arm, and Elway improvises so well. Obviously, Joe does too, but Elway is more forceful here. Out of the pocket, he somehow finds Tony Kimbrough.
Yeah, and then there's not many ball players that can make this play. You see John Elway improvise here, moving out of the pocket to his left, and then throwing across his body to Rod Bernstein, who couldn't ask for a better pass right where it needed to be.
And then Shannon Sharp, Tom.
Right here, Shannon Sharp gets the extra time. The offensive line, good protection, goes to the middle of the field, find the open area, and John Elway can deliver.
Well, just as Joe does Elway amaze his teammates even though they see him every day in practice?
Well, I think certainly athletically you won't find a quarterback more gifted, but the thing that I see about John Elway right now is that not depending on the strong arm and the athleticism all the time, he is now reading defenses. You see him going to second receivers, third receivers, sometimes even the fourth receiver.
So you think that maybe he is a better quarterback than he was leading the teams to the Super Bowls. Now, you play defense. You're not on the field when Montana or Elway are on the field, Tommy, but yet you're a defensive player for the Broncos or the Chiefs. Do they make you better players?
Well, I think certainly what they do is they give you a better chance to win on the football field. So anytime that you're out there, you know defensively, if you stay close, one of these guys, if you can get it within 6 points at the end of the game, these guys will give you a chance to walk off with a W.
Well, they may face each other a third time this year. They've split their regular season, and the Broncos, along with the Raiders, one behind the Chiefs now in a very good AFC West. The Chargers hope they're still a part of. Although they're trailing at halftime, Edgar Bennett and the Packers leading 13-6. More from the Murph in a moment.
This halftime report is presented by Acura. Some things are worth the price.
We're Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. Halftime, the Packers leading the Chargers 13-6. As we get ready to start the third quarter, very physical first half and a great matchup with Stan Brock and Reggie White.
Well, that's where you find the physical nature of the game, is in the trenches between offensive and defensive linemen. Stan Brock on your right, Reggie White on your left. Here comes Reggie. This is just a big bull rush. Stan does a good job, neutralizes Reggie. Now Reggie just loads up and lets it go. These are two men going toe-to-toe in a war. Stan does a nice job of cutting them down. Here Reggie shows his athletic ability, hurdles Brock, goes up, knocks the pass away. I think you can expect a lot more of that, but I would expect Reggie White to be in a little bit of a different place in this half. I'd expect him to be maybe over somebody else instead of just Stan Brock.
Stan Brock's doing too good a job. We'll be back with the start of the third quarter in just a minute. Ready to start the second half from San Diego in a game of major playoff implications for both these ball clubs. Stan Humphries was wheeled off at the end of the first half. He was x-rayed for a bruised left knee, and here is the play where he may have gotten it. Oh yeah.
Jurkovic just gives him the old leg whip. Jurkovic is another one of those guys. You know, just like boilerplate, let me lock up and wrestle with you for about 3 hours.
Chargers will get the ball. Nate Lewis at the 1. To the 24-yard line. Brought down by Doug Evans, hustling down on special teams. Halftime stats, rushing yards and passing yards, certainly nothing to write home about for either club.
They are, but I want to show you the statistic right down there on the lower right. 4 penalties for 20 yards. All they are is 5-yard penalties. But they were on 2 successive drives, which made it 1st and 15 for the Chargers. You can't play that way. You can't try and make up 15 yards every time out. That hurt them. And the sacks, 2 for the Chargers, 1 for the Packers.
Marion Butts gets a couple straight up the middle across the 25 to about the 27-yard line.
Stan Humphries moving the football around a lot. You see him out to the right side, though. That's where he's concentrated. Not a whole lot out to the left. That's an area. He's right-handed quarterback, and you just see that naturally and comfortably.
2nd and 6 from the 26. Miller out of bounds at the 36-yard line. Buckley made the stop.
Number 92, Reggie White comes in. That's a rip and roll. What he does is he tries to rip with one hand, then he clubs and moves you with the other, and then he winds up in the quarterback's face. I don't like that rip and roll move if I'm a quarterback.
On 1st and 10, Miller to the other side. Has 9, maybe 10 yards. Forced out of bounds to 46.
Michael, this is something I think the Chargers should have done in the first half. Anthony Miller is like Sterling Sharp for the Packers. He's your go-to big play guy. Receivers have a tendency to sort of get lost out there if you don't get them the ball early. They've come out right now and put him involved in the game. There's your production. Ronnie Harmon, they've basically shut him down. If they're going to shut him down, you've got to get the football to Anthony Miller. That's what it looks like the Chargers want to do in this half.
They'll bring the chains in from the far side. And it's about the length of a football short of a first down, so 2nd and a foot.
I think it's going to be short by about the length of a football.
You are on a roll. Sterling plying his time, waiting to get back in the ball game.
I'm amazed at him being able to play. The guy does not practice. I mean, doesn't practice. He doesn't even warm up. He doesn't even catch the ball in warm-ups as the team warms up before a game. He just comes out and plays. And that's why, you know, him sitting down for a little while is good because he gets out of shape, and they'll need him in the 4th quarter.
Mike Holmgren says he doesn't know how he does it. 2nd and a foot, free play for Humphries. Throws and too high for Marion Butts in the flat. And Joe, I believe that's the 4th time he's had that little short toss and has been way off with it.
He's been high with it, and that's the problem. Marion Butts is going to help out. There you go. Now, who's chipping on who? I guess that's the question. Butts is going to go out to try and help. And watch this. Butts comes out, and he just takes him out. And that's the problem, is what happens is the timing of the route is thrown off because of Reggie White.
Now 3rd and a foot. They'll go with Natron Means trying to get the first down, hit in midair, fell forward and looked like he got enough. Natron at 245 went airborne.
Boy, they're going to bring out the chains. This is going to be a close spot. What happens is, as he goes up in the air, he starts to become a propeller. And instead of the ball going forward, it actually winds up coming back. Reggie on a slant. You see him go. Now, see the ball? It doesn't go forward. It sort of comes backward. I think they have it, but it's only going to be by about a lace or two. Or 3.
And they have it.
This is a very important drive for the Chargers. They finished strong at the end of the half, and I remember playing for George Allen and Joe Gibbs both, and they preached the first series of the second half, the first series of the game are very important.
Humphries airs one out. Miller can't get there. Just off his fingertips, Buckley astride behind him.
Anthony Miller has owned Terrell Buckley tonight. That's the second time he's gotten on top of him. And Stan has missed it long. This one here, he doesn't really give him a chance. That's a little hesitation and go. Now, you throw the ball to the outside, but you got to keep the ball in play. You got to give the guy a chance to make a ball in play.
So it's 2nd and 10. Joe Cucuzzo has checked in at right guard for Milenchik, and Joe Milenchik hasn't been able to finish games lately. Arthroscopic knee surgery earlier in the year. His knee continues to bother him. And Cucuzzo has done the job coming off the bench. Here comes the Packers on defense, and the pass complete for a first down. Miller makes the grab in front of Buckley again, and that time Humphries was running for his life.
Well, actually what happened is the Packers had a blitz on, and the Chargers guessed with them. That time it was more like a dash. That's like a drop roll. What he's going to do is he's going to flow to the right. Now, Miller does a great job. Terrell Buckley knows he just got beat. It's the same exact move right there, except now he stops. Now, watch him work back. See how he works back towards the quarterback. Excellent discipline.
Miller 4th in the conference in catches, 5th in yards. Play action by Humphries. Plenty of time. Floats it to Butts. And Butts gets an extra yard. Good solid tackle by Buckley. I mean, that's 174 pounds carrying an anvil in his pocket against 250.
Terrell Buckley, when he came into the league, said that he was going to have 20 interceptions and be all-world and everything else. And Leroy Butler went up to him and said, listen, stop putting so much pressure on yourself. Just relax, go play the corner. And if you do the things and you tell people you're going to do it, they don't like you anyway. So just go do it.
Saw Reggie White on the bench getting a breather on this series, and we have movement up front, and they'll stop the play. .11:54 to go, 3rd quarter. The Chargers, with 5 touchdowns in 7 home games, have 2 field goals tonight. And their defense, which hadn't given up 1 in 13 quarters, finally gave 1 up.
Prior to the snap, we got a false start on number 87 offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
I don't think Dwayne Young agrees with the call. And there's Reggie, but getting some fluid.
Well, not only that, see, it's a 2-cup night. That's how much he's working. He had the 1 cup. He has the other one in his hand just in case. He's working a lot, so it's a 2-cup night.
And San Diego has not gone with the run very much. 32 passes to only 13 runs tonight. Humphrey. Incomplete. Miller dropped it. Buckley was with him, but the pass was right there.
They get the defense they're looking for. And Anthony Miller makes the move. I mean, they have decided they're going to work to their big horse here. It's a good move. But again, he doesn't look the ball all the way in. What really comes to mind is what Jerry Rice told us last week. The only thing he focuses on is the football first and then running second. And that's something Anthony was not doing tonight.
The second one he's dropped this evening. 3rd and 9. Here comes the blitz. Humphries dumps it to Harmon. Ronnie Harmon to the 35. That will be short of a first down. Don Davey chased the play down from behind.
Great team speed by the Green Bay Packers. That was a double screen. They tried to fake it to one side, come back to the other, and they wound up with a fairly good game. Going to give the offense an opportunity to pick up a first down. Bobby Ross knows he's got to win.
And Reggie is not going to sit out this play. And now Humphries is going to have to burn a timeout. Only 3 seconds left on the play clock. 10:51 on the game clock. 3rd quarter. Still a 1-touchdown game.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by Isuzu, makers of incredible four-wheel drives, and by Budweiser, Beechwood Age for a crisp, clean, classic taste.
13-6, 3rd quarter.
Mike Homer on the left, Bobby Ross on the right. Both of them know how important this game is. If I'm the Chargers and Bobby Ross right now, I put Anthony Miller and Ronnie Harmon to the same side, force the Packers to try and double cover one of them, but they can't double cover both.
And that's exactly where they are, with Harmon in the slot near Miller. Humphries looking that way and never had a chance. Tony Bennett. His first game was the 31st of October after a contract holdout. The man who had 13.5 sacks a year ago now has 3.
That's what you expect. You got to figure Reggie White's going to be doubled, and here comes Tony Bennett. It's just a mismatch. Alfred Pupanuk just can't stay with him. There's the double on Harmon. There they are. Linebacker inside, defensive back outside. Miller should have been one-on-one, but Humphries didn't have the time.
So going for it on 4th down backfires, and here come the Packers. Thompson to the 47-yard line, gain of maybe 2.
We talked about the philosophy of the Green Bay Packer offense. You'll see on Brett Favre's passing chart that first of all, he has no completions down the field, but everything is out here. And again, he's a right-handed quarterback, so the ball works from the center to the right. That's just a natural evolution of the quarterbacking position.
Quarterbacks on 2nd and 8. Favre with room to run. Dives forward and stretches the ball out. Now, diving instead of sliding, he gets the extra yardage.
That's correct.
If he slides, it's where he starts to slide when he first hits the ground.
Which, I don't like that rule. I don't like that, because if a quarterback makes a decision to go to the ground, whether he's diving or sliding, he's given up running the ball. The ball should be spotted back further. Watch this. He's going to hit the ground, and then he's going to bounce forward. And this is what the Chargers were concerned with, far as athletic ability to run. But watch this. He dives. Okay? The ball is a yard short. See, he made that ball should be spotted a yard behind the 45-yard line, not on the 45-yard line. Quarterback giving up. If he gives it up, it's where the ball and he go down. That's the way it should be. If not, then the defensive guys ought to be able to just unload, and we'll wipe them out.
Well, right now, by rule, they can. If they go head first, you got a legitimate shot at it.
Then you're looking at a lot more quarterbacks not finishing seasons.
3rd and inches from the San Diego 45. Thompson is the single setback. Favre, quarterback keeper, first down.
Mike, I mentioned earlier, the dimension that Brett Favre brings to the game. When you talk to the San Diego defense and defensive players and coaches, they say he reminds them of a young John Elway. Got the great got the great gun, but yet has the athletic ability to be very dangerous as a runner, and the size as well. He's not a small guy by any stretch of 6'2", 220.
And a brilliant competitor. Favre throws short. Jackie Harris makes the catch at the 38-yard line. Darren Carrington on the stop.
Tried to get the football to Jackie Harris on a couple of occasions. The Chargers done a good job defensively. This time they clear out the sideline and let him work outside.
And Jackie Harris, who had a knee injury earlier, arthroscopic surgery, came back very quickly, limps off the field. Really missed his ability to turn the short catch into the big game. Although Ed West filled in very well for him at tight end. And there's West back in the lineup. Thompson on the delay. Very close to another first down.
Thompson, ball carrier. The tackle by Junior Seau.
Junior Seau, we saw him blitz a few times early and have the guys get outside. See him cheat inside? He knows where that football is going. He just knows where it's going, so he cheats over and is there to make the play. That's just great film study and great preparation by a great linebacker.
Jackie Harris back in the lineup. It is a 1st and 10. Packers both wide receivers to the near side. Bennett. Another good cutback, gets to the 30-yard line. Stanley Richard, the sheriff, comes up to make the hit. Very impressed by the Packers tonight, Joe. They look like a team that has a chance to be a dominant football team.
I think they still will win the Central Division. I think they'll win the NFC Central. They're really thin up front, though, Mike. The one place that Mike Holmgren cannot afford any more injuries is in the offensive line. I mean, he's real thin up there. They hardly have anybody to fill in, and that's going to be the thing that they have to be concerned with through December, and if they make it into January in the playoffs.
2nd and 8. Favre naked bootleg throws on the run and overthrows. Jackie Harris never had a chance.
Great job, Chris Mims. They fooled him the first time early in the game. Second time he got a sack. This time he got his hands up. Coming right at you. Left part of the screen. Mims, again, not fooled in pursuit. Obviously, Coach Arnsparger got to him and says, you have contained.
This is one you don't call again, isn't it, after 2 times right in your face?
Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Brett's got to look over the sidelines and shake his head and say, no, Mike.
Morgan and Lewis come in as wide receivers. As they go to 4 wide, Sterling Sharp in the slot to the near side. And Favre hands it off. Thompson. They spread him out with 4 wide receivers and then hand it to Thompson. Nice call.
Great job. What you get is one-on-one blocking up front, and you allow Thompson to just run with the football. This one goes right over the left guard position right there. Doug Waddell, he's going to fire out. The hole's coming out over here. There's a nice job on Seau. All he has to do is lock him up and almost puts him on his back. Thompson got the ball in the outside hand. Pursuit's coming from the inside. Good play.
An offensive line that's lost 3 starters. Here's another blitz. Thompson lost his footing as he tried to cut outside. Carrington made the tackle. Well, San Diego uncharacteristically coming very hard, as they did last week against Elway.
And they need Daryl Thompson to step up, because I think that if you're looking at an area where the Packers want to improve it, it's at running back. And Daryl Thompson was miscast here in an offense where he was asked to block. Now he's running from a little bit deeper. He was an eye back at Minnesota, and he's being quite productive tonight.
2nd and 10. They show blitz again. Here they come. Bennett. And a blitz not only gets you after the quarterback, it plugs up all the running lanes, too. And Plummer and Seau right there.
Well, basically, Matt, Mike, you have gaps. in the offense. And what happens, you see these gaps here, all they want to do is fill them. That's what they want to do. They want to fill them with bodies so that there's too many people up there for them to block. And that's exactly what happens. You see Seau, even though he comes from the right, the guards and tackles really don't know who to pick up. Then, of course, you got to make the tackle when you get the shot, which they've done.
3rd and 9, Green Bay already up by 7, driving for more. Favre with a quick pass to Sterling, short to the 5. Badly injured foot or not, you know he's going to be there at crunch time.
You know, there are a lot of people who could become MVPs of the league this year. Steve Young, Jerry Rice, a lot of them. But this guy here deserves a vote. He's just hurting and still making plays. That time he caught the ball with a chance to face up. And there was no question where Brett Favre was going. He was going to go to Sterling Sharp no matter what.
And Sterling Sharp has just hit 1,000 yards for the season. 1st and goal. And Favre will have to spend another timeout. Play clock was down to 2. Timeout with 4:23 to go. 3rd quarter, still a 1-touchdown game. Green Bay with a touchdown lead with 4:23 to go. 3rd quarter. Sterling Sharp with a big play on the last one to get them down to the 5-yard line. Look at the numbers. 92 catches. He's gone to 1,000 yards. He set the record a year ago at 108.
And he's hard to find. This is where he's lined up. 17 times over here, 9 here, 13 here, 6 here. And all they've done is move him around. So if you want to try and double cover him, it's almost impossible because you don't know where he's going to be. Now he's wide to the right in the formation.
Donald Frank in his face. Thompson, touchdown.
Ran right over Harry Galbraith, the right guard. Frank Winter, the center, number 52. Harry Galbraith, number 76.
Only the 2nd touchdown of the year for Darrell Thompson, and what a big one it is for Green Bay.
There's Junior Seau. There's Frank Winter. He's going to take him out. Thompson's coming right through there for the 6. Great job of initial contact, then turn your body, give the runner a place to go, and that's exactly what he did.
Frank Winters acquired as a Plan B free agent from Kansas City last year. Jackie for the point after. It is good. And the Green Bay Packers have taken a 20-6 lead. Darrell Thompson in action. The Packers, who need a win to have a share of first place in the NFC Central, leading by 14. The scoring drive, this one 55 yards, took 6:28 off the clock, and Thompson capped it from 5 yards out. Nate Lewis, the deep man, driven into the far corner. Got some room. Nate Lewis brought down at the 50-yard line. Roland Mitchell made the tackle and saved the touchdown. A return of 46. 20-6, Packers over the Chargers. Goodyear blimps log over 100,000 miles every year covering major sporting events. They're here with us tonight over Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, where 63,000 fans are hoping against hope that the Chargers will come back. They desperately need this game to stay in the wild card playoff race. Bobby Ross says they have to run the table or they're not going to make the playoffs.
And I think the way they're going to have to do it is they're going to have to go with 3 wides, a tight end, and Ronnie Harmon the rest of this football game, or Natrone Means, which they have in there now, a guy who can hit a hole quick and pick up some yards for you.
Great field position again for San Diego. Miller, pick up about 8. Roland Mitchell makes the stop again. The Chargers with 5 touchdowns at home as opposed to 15 on the road. This is their 7th home game. With 5 touchdowns at home, they need 2 in the last 1 quarter and 3.5 minutes to tie up this game. Means. Nice little display of gliding through the hole down to the 35.
You know, I don't think there's any reason to panic, but I think as an offense, you got to pick up the pace a little bit now. You've got to get in and out of huddles. You can't let that clock get anywhere near down around 6-7 seconds. You've got to be snapping the ball with 15 seconds to go and saving it. Jack Riley, the guy right in the middle, the man with the snow on his head.
Play action by Humphrey. Plenty of time. Now chased by White and throws. Almost intercepted. Intended for Miller, and George Teague, the rookie from Alabama, nearly had it. There is a flag down in the backfield. And maybe that's why Stan Humphries had all that time.
Well, that's a little bit of a problem. Anytime Stan Humphries has to hold the ball longer, it creates a problem.
Holding number 87 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Dwayne Young guilty of the hold, and it was either on Bennett or Pop. Bennett, I believe, coming from the right side. 6th penalty against San Diego. Zip for Green Bay, and that'll make the coaches happy. So now it's 1st and 20. Means he's out. Ronnie Harmon comes in. Lewis on the flanker screen. Nothing doing. Johnny Holland was there to make the stop after Mitchell was blocked off the play. Holland has had a big night, as have the rest of the Packer linebackers.
He really has. What happens is he picks his way through the blockers that time to make a great play. But there's a war going on out here, and it's between number 92 and number 67. Stan Brock doing a good job. Reggie White just working. The two of them are locked up. Reggie doesn't like that.
Humphries under pressure. The sack by Bennett. His 2nd. And there's another flag down. And I'm sure they'll decline this one because they'll get the sack.
What happens is they'll double team Reggie White and allow Bennett to go one-on-one to make the play. There's Reggie getting here, the double, and there's the one-on-one, and that's what happens. Humphries doesn't get a chance to step up inside, and you wind up with the sack.
And that is what Reggie White has done for this defense. It has freed up Bennett. It has freed up Bryce Pop, the other down lineman, and that's why they are 4th in the NFL in defense.
He's going, he's going, he's going.
Humphries needs the big play over the middle, short to Sean Jefferson. Jefferson at the 41-yard line. They have to go inside the 25 for the first down. There's another marker on the play.
Personal foul. Oh, the Packers let him out of a hole that time.
Didn't they?
3rd down and 30,000 miles.
Was it Bryce Pop who got there late?
Personal foul. Roughing the quarterback. 15-yard penalty from the end of the pass and catch. First down.
It's not from the point of the play. It is from the completion. Humphries rolls out. He lets the ball go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know, they're talking about 1 step, not 3 steps. Stan's not going to take it either. That's what I love about him. I love his fighting attitude. I mean, he's not going to give up. You come at him, he's coming back at you. Mental mistake by the Green Bay Packers defensive line and linebacker.
And they wait the entire game to get their first penalty, and it is a huge one. Even after the completion, San Diego was facing 4th and about 12. They might have decided to go for it again. Instead, they have a first down at the Green Bay 25-yard line. Huge penalty. See if they can take advantage. Humphries throws. Lewis on the short hop.
Ronnie Harmon is back in the backfield on the right side, but watch the job that he does. Watch Harmon come out here to the right. Look at this. Look at this shot right there. That's Ronnie Harmon chipping on Bennett. He's going to help out Stan Brock.
Can't call that a chip game. Very, very physical football game from the very beginning. 2nd and 10. Four-man rush. Humphries hangs in the pocket, throws complete at the 10-yard line. Sean Jefferson, who's been very quiet in this game, comes up with a big, big hit.
Excellent protection. Joe Cucuzzo this time. Courtney Hall coming over to help out. They're keeping everybody busy, giving Stan Humphries an opportunity to throw the lanes. I've been impressed with the job that the wide receivers have done tonight overall for the Chargers. They've made some great tough catches.
1st and 10, San Diego. Humphries with time to the corner of the end zone, intended for Jefferson, overthrown. Terrell Buckley on the coverage.
You know, it's interesting. We've seen the Green Bay Packers basically try and run the football right most of the night. We've seen the San Diego Chargers in their passing attack go after Terrell Buckley.
The Chargers could get a first down right at the goal line. But in essence, they better get the ball in the end zone. 2nd and 10. Again, fade. Touchdown, Lewis. Perfectly thrown ball over Roland Mitchell and Nate Lewis for the touchdown.
This is just a well-thrown football. You can't play defense much better. Nate Lewis is going to work up the field. This is going to stop, so he's got that whole end zone to work with. They run Miller on the stop. He frees it. Keep the corner with you. Now hang the ball over the top. That's a great throw, great catch. Well, we talked about the style of defense the Packers play. They'll line you up one-on-one.
Mitchell beaten for Lewis's 4th touchdown catch this year. Carney to make it a 1-touchdown game. And he does. Stan Humphries with the scoring pass to Nate Lewis. It's 20-13. Green Bay by a touchdown. 39 seconds to go, 3rd quarter. Bryce Pop on the phone upstairs to the coaches. He was the man who committed the personal foul that kept the drive alive. 3 minutes, 40 seconds, 51 yards. The great throw, great catch by Nate Lewis. And here is the penalty.
What happens is Humphries lets the ball go, and both Pop and Bennett come in and give him a shot. Humphries coming up swinging.
And Ronnie Harmon went after Bennett. San Diego clinging to playoff hopes. Marcus Wilson to the 45-yard line. John Carney had to make the stop, a return of 35 for the 2nd-year free agent from Virginia.
Coach Cromwell appreciates it. Big play by his special teams.
What a great player he was for the Rams.
Really loves coaching. I mean, really, really loves to coach, loves everything about it. Great teacher.
Great field position for Green Bay at their own 45 with 28 seconds to go in the quarter. Junior's pumped for it. Thompson tries to go outside, and Sayal ran him down.
What an athlete. What an athlete. Watch this. This time Junior guesses right. What he does is he decides to shoot the gap, and he just doesn't stop running. He's gone right now. They hardly get a push on him. Now it's just speed on speed. Junior wins this one.
And if you're in a playground, he's the first guy you choose for your side. That's the end of the third quarter. The Packers 20, the Chargers 13. 7-point ball game with a quarter to go, and you know there's got to be a sense of urgency on the San Diego sideline. They have to have this game. In fact, the rest of the game's on their schedule.
Well, there's a sense of urgency now, too, on the Green Bay Packers side, because what happens is you had them out of the game. You had them third down and a mile, then all of a sudden you wind up letting them back in the game. So you can feel it on both sides. But you're right, Mike. I think the Chargers have to feel it a bit more at this point.
Packers from the 42, 2nd and 13. Favre to Sharp. Lunges to the 46-yard line, about a yard shy of a first down. Darian Gordon made the tackle.
This is where Brett Favre, I think, functions at the optimum level that he can. It's a quick spin around, play action fake, set your feet and step forward and fire the football. He's got a great arm. Sterling Sharp gives him a perfect target. And with 2 good feet, he might break that all the way.
Exactly.
But because of the problems with his feet, he just says he gives up and doesn't try and run through people as much.
3rd and short. First down. The Packers have made the plays when they had to tonight. Near the 43-yard line.
Right here, if you're the Chargers, you go back to your philosophy of bringing your backups. Bring Plummer. Bring Say out. Get those guys involved. Fill up the holes inside. Because it does 2 things. It causes problems in the running game, and if Brett Favre is going to set short, you're going to have people in his face right now.
And really, they have no deep threat in their passing game. Thompson bounces off the tackle. Stiff arm gets a first down, gain of 12, first down at the 32. A gain of 13 for Darrell Thompson.
Sherm Lewis, the offensive coordinator, described Darrell Thompson to me as a big, strong guy, and here he shows it. Goes inside hard, bounces off. Now he turns some speed on outside and uses the old stiff arm. Pick up a few extra yards.
He was a first-round pick in 1990 out of Minnesota, where he set all kind of records with more than 4,500 yards rushing. Didn't fit with Lindy and Fonte's system for 2 years. Hurt last year, making a statement this season. Bennett, the single setback. Cuts inside of O'Neal, but couldn't get by him. Drags Leslie O'Neal to the 40-yard line.
Leslie O'Neal, really, that's the second time he's been involved. He had the sack on Favre earlier in the game, first half, and now he makes a play on a run. This is a tough offense for him to be productive against, because Leslie O'Neal is a setup-style defensive end. He likes to set the tackles up, work them outside, and then come on inside, get 2 or 3 sacks a game. Tough to do it against an offense that quick sets like this one.
And Rutgers, except for the 1 sack, has done a superb job against him. 2nd and 9, and movement up front. People offside, and they'll whistle the play dead. Looked like Sterling Sharp got a quick jump. Always has that smile on his face.
Snap. We got a false start on number 84 offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Yeah, he's been criticized for some people for smiling on the field when there's a mistake. But this guy loves to play football.
He smiles all the
He's
time.
not making light of it.
Never. He smiles all the time. He's got a great attitude, a great work ethic. This is, to me, he reminds me of a guy that I played with who I think the world of by the name of Art Monk. These two are the same exact kind of football players. And isn't it interesting that he broke Art Monk's record?
Yeah. And is going to break it again this year. 2nd and 14. Favre throws on the run. Completes to Clayton. And Mark Clayton inside the 15 for a first down. Gain of 23, and looked like he was shoved out of bounds. Donald Frank on the stop.
Nice job by Brett Favre. This is his mobility. They've done a good job defensively, but they're only rushing 4. Now Frank has to try and stay with Clayton. Can't do it. Comes up, makes the hit. Clayton tears away. You know, he just quietly makes a play or two in a game that helps the Packers win. Doesn't have all the speed he had when he played at Miami, but still a big play guy.
1st and 10, Green Bay. Thompson. Boy, he just protected the ball that time. As Junior Seau grabbed him and threw him down.
That's the first time they've come with multiple backers. And I don't understand why they didn't do it earlier in the series. I think they had him backed up around the 40, 45-yard line. Might have been a little bit better time to put pressure on him. All the guys looking up at the clock. They're well aware of what's going on. There you see Seau fill the inside again. Blaze Winter coming in, making the play.
Clayton is out. Ed West checks in. Double tight end set. On 2nd and 12. Bennett. Caught at the 15. Wouldn't let him go. Big play by Carrington and Plummer.
I mean, see, now you got your backers are closer to the line of scrimmage. I just don't see, you know, obviously they don't play a lot of man-to-man coverage, so maybe Bobby's a little bit leery of it. Watch him make the cut. Now, they're going to move. They're going to get Junior this time, but they're not going to get Gary, number 50. Plummer flowing with the attack. See Seau make the play. Plummer winds up with the tackle.
3rd and 11. Clock running. 10:36 left in the game. Clayton is back in. They'll hand it off. Thompson nowhere to run. Gang tackled Marquez. Pope the first man to hit him. Stanley Richardson helped out. Pope, you'll remember, made the huge special teams play early in the game. And now Chris Jackie, who has hit 28 of 31 field goals this year, will try to make it a 10-point lead. Only Nick Lowry has a better kicking percentage than Chris Jackie, who became eligible for that career field goal percentage lead this year. This time from 33. He's hit from 51 and 42. And he missed it.
And now
it looked like they had trouble with a hole.
They did, Mike. You're exactly right. The snap was low down, right inside.
So the Chargers dodge a bullet. They're still down by 7 and still.
ESPN Sunday Night NFL is brought to you by the Lee Apparel Company. With regular, relaxed, and loose-fit jeans and casual pants, Lee is the brand that fits. And by the awesome sports lineup of the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. No wonder you find the best play here.
The punter, Brian Wagner, who is the holder for Chris Jackie as they talk it over on the sideline. A rare miss for the Packer field goal kicker this year. And now with 9:41 to go, the Chargers need a drive to tie it up. Humphries throws underneath to Harmon. Ronnie Harmon got as much out of it as he could, a gain of 8.
3 elements of a field goal or an extra point: snap, hold, and kick. The snap comes low and inside. Now the ball was, he handled it pretty well. Jackie just didn't think he was going to get it down. And what he does is hesitate. He moves it, does a good job. I'd give an okay with that hold. Chris Jackie's timing was thrown off a little bit. He started, stopped, and came again. You got to believe if you're a kicker. You got to believe the guy's going to get it down.
Ronnie Harmon, 6 catches, 34 yards. Humphries goes short again, complete for about 6. There's the flag down. Another hold. Junior looking on, hoping the offense can get it done as they did last time.
Holding number 67 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Stan Brock.
So once again, Joe, the Chargers offense goes in the hole.
Here he comes out. This time he's going to get on. See it? The left hand get around. Once he got that left hand outside, that's all the official needed to see. And out goes the flag.
Second and 11. Humphreys under pressure. Just got rid of it before Reggie White got there, but Sean Jefferson made the catch.
And that's what Stan Humphreys brings to this offense, an ability to break out of the pocket when the play breaks down and come up with the play when he has to.
I'm not even sure if that was intended for Jefferson.
Oh, yeah, it was. Good 7-step drop. He sets, but he feels the pressure. That time Brock gets his hands away good. Now he just makes the throw up the field. Nice job of getting the ball with Reggie White hanging all over you.
Whistled right by Ronnie Harmon. And it's a first down for the Chargers, 8:16 left. Humphreys in the flat to Papuno. What a nice saving tackle by Butler. The secondary of the Packers has come up with some big plays tonight.
And there's a lot of pressure on them because of the style of defense they play. Terrell Buckley's been beat a couple times, but no damage has been done. Roland Mitchell had the big play against him, still was in tight coverage. And Leroy Butler, to me, is just making a statement to say, I'm one of the best safeties in football, and I agree with him.
And Humphreys has certainly picked up his play in the second half. Second and 8, four-man rush. Humphreys hit as he throws. Miller for the third time tonight. Anthony Miller has had a step on the secondary and been overthrown.
Stan Humphreys has had, you're right, I mean, he more than a step. He's got him beat by a good yard every time out, and Stan just overthrew it again. This time he doesn't, he just sets him up and takes off. Terrell Buckley thinks he's fast, but he's finding out that everybody in the National Football League is fast. We're really at least 2 touchdowns he should have given up tonight, and 3 big plays. He's lucky.
Third and 8. Humphreys trying to scramble to buy time. Throws complete to Papuno. First down. Alfred Papuno, you haven't heard too much about him at Weber State. He was the leading receiver in the nation in 1991, and we have an injury for Green Bay.
Courtney Hall, number 53. Joe Cacuzo, number 68. They're just going to make sure Reggie White can't make plays. And this is just a great job by Stan Humphreys. He steps up in the pocket. He sees trouble coming. Alfred making the play. Good hands. You know, with him back there, of course, they lost Derek Walker, who gives you everything. Derek's out. His knees bother him. But Papuno making some big plays.
And we'll check on the Packer injury when we come back to San Diego. .7:03 to go in the game. Green Bay leads by 7. The sellout crowd of 63,000 here at the Murph. Here's the Budweiser storyline. Brett Favre, 1 interception, 150 yards passing. Sterling Sharp with 7 catches. Stan Humphreys has already thrown to 45 times. And Lewis with 5 catches for 36 yards. Under 7 minutes to go. First and 10 Chargers. Humphreys has been a miracle worker on this drive. Marion Butts. And George Kuntz came up and hit him in the backfield and got him down at the line of scrimmage. Here's why this game is so important to the Green Bay Packers. A win brings them back even with Detroit at 8-5. But look at the advantage they have in the top 3 in the division record. Outside of head-to-head, that's the first tiebreaker. They are 4-2. The Packers in great shape for Mike Holmgren. They've beaten the Lions once. Bill Moss into the lineup for Green Bay. He's been bothered by injuries all year long. Humphreys under pressure, dumps it to Harmon. Look at that. Ronnie Harmon with a brilliant ability to elude people. Gets within 2 yards of a first down. Johnny Holland made the tackle.
It doesn't matter now either for the Chargers, Mike. They are in 4-down area. they've got to take 4 downs to get first down. So they're going to have 2 cracks here at trying to pick it up. On 3rd down on this one, you do whatever you can. You bring in your short yard. But watch him stop and start. Look at that. Head moving, shoulders moving. Hello, goodbye, I'm gone. George Kuntz, try and catch me.
7 catches, 42 yards for Ronnie Harmon. I still think he's the best 3rd down back in football. Means did not get it. Natron Means tried to go over the top. Wayne Simmons, number 59, was one of the first men to hit him, the rookie from Clemson.
Natron Means is the wrong size to try and be a hurdler. First of all, he's 5'10", but the 250 doesn't allow you to get very high. That's the problem. I think he's got to try and find holes and squirt through them. There they are, 3 linebackers, but watch the one right in the middle come in and fill.
4th and a yard. Steve Hendrickson, the linebacker, comes in as the up man in the eye. Means the deep man. They'll try it again. Means hitting the backfield. And the Green Bay Packers have held.
Mike, I've always believed that short yardage and goal line is purely a question of attitude. That time, the Packer attitude was greater than the Charger attitude.
And you want to know the happiest man in the world is Bryce Popp, because he was the guy who made the first hit in the backfield after making that huge penalty earlier in the game.
It's penetration. That's the key to short yardage and goal line. He gets by the nose, he gets by the center, comes in, takes a little piece of him. Packers have great speed defensively. Look at them all surge. Bryce Popp having a sensational year. Johnny Holland holding strong at the point of attack.
So the Packers take over at their own 38. The clock, their biggest ally right now, 4:42 to go. San Diego comes with a blitz. Bennett gets outside. Leslie O'Neal got enough to bring him down.
What you do now if you're the San Diego Chargers on defense, for example, you bring backers. You make them, you stop them, you put them in 3rd and long situations. If you're the Green Bay Packers, here's the other side of it. If you're Brett Favre, you work that 25-second clock down to snapping it where there's just 2 or 3 seconds left. You move in a slow down pace now. You remind the guys, let's not turn it over.
Do you throw it to Sterling Sharp?
I think if I'm going to throw the ball, that's the guy I'm going to look for.
2nd and 7. Dexter McNabb is in the backfield as a blocker. Thompson, nothing. Junior Seau was waiting, tried to strip the ball at the 40.
Now I'd use a timeout.
They have 2 left. They've stopped the clock with 3:50 to go in the ball game. The Chargers desperately trying to get the ball back, down by 7. 3:50 left in the ball game. Green Bay leads by 7. They have it 3rd and 8 at their own 40-yard line. San Diego can only stop the clock one more time. Bobby Ross is rolling the dice right here, and Sterling Sharp with that injured foot is on the bench. And they'll keep it on the ground to Thompson. Thompson fighting for yards, gets out to the 44.
Same exact play they ran and got big yards on before. Put 4 wides out, spread them out. This time the Chargers did not fall for it. Looks like they called a timeout again to stop the clock.
They used their last one with 3:41 to go in the game, and that is oodles of time, even without any timeout.
Should be plenty of time, but remember, at the 2-minute warning, you're still going to have 1 more timeout. So they really, in essence, have 1 timeout left.
So the Chargers will get at least another crack at it. And Brian Wagner's job is to kick it as far as he can. Chargers huddled up. There's Reggie. He'll get his opportunity to come back on the field in a moment. SportsCenter gets its opportunity coming up right after our broadcast. Update you on everything that's going on in sports. Wagner has not had a really good night, averaging only 39.5 and a very low net of 32.5, even though he has some great numbers on the season. And there is the leading punt return man in the NFL, Darian Gordon, back to his 16-yard line. What a time for a big return here. Wagner, nice punt. There's a flag down, and Gordon makes the fair catch out around the 25. A punt of only 32, but no return will check the penalty. And more pushing and shoving. Jim Morrissey picked up from the Bears on waivers, who's an excellent special teams player. Well, you've got the ball to 25. You make him kick it again?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're going to put the ball in Darian Gordon's hands. I think you make him kick it again and give him a shot at a return.
On the offense, number 29 was lined up off the line of scrimmage. Repeat 4th down.
That's Marcus Wilson.
See, I think when you have weapons, and I would look at Darian Gordon as a weapon.
Definitely.
You try and take in a game and figure how many times can I get my weapons with their hands on the ball. Guy like Sterling Sharp, guy like Anthony Miller, guy like Darian Gordon.
Booming kick this time. Gordon driven all the way back to the 11. Look at this return. One man away from breaking it out to the 33-yard line. A return of 21 after a punt of 49. Weapon indeed. Be with us for NFL Game Day Saturday at 11:30 in the morning for a special edition of Game Day. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, and Chris Mortensen preview the Saturday games. Then on Sunday, Joe Theismann joins the crew at the regular time of noon Eastern for the complete preview of the day's action. Then at 7, prime time. You'll see all the highlights of all the games. Then at 8, Joe and I will be in the Hoosier Dome as the Eagles will take on the Colts. We guarantee you it'll be better than the Jets-Redskins game. Miller to the 45-yard line. What a second half for Stan Humphries.
Well, they just lined it up and thrown it. Like I said, the Packers invite you to do that with their man-to-man coverage. They challenge you, and so far Humphries has missed the big ones, but he's delivering on the short ones.
And Miller has gone over 100 yards for the night. Short to Harmon. Got all he could and got out of bounds in front of Johnny Holland at the 38. They do not have any timeouts, but there's plenty of time on the clock at 2:49.
As a quarterback, you love to play with smart players that understand what you're trying to do. Ronnie Harmon knows they don't have any timeouts, and Stan Humphries doesn't have to remind them. And so what he does is he gets close to the sidelines. Instead of trying to pick up 2 yards, he just goes out of bounds, stops the clock. Time is important right now, not yardage.
Reggie White looking for the big play, moves over the center. Flag is down. Humphries throws complete again. Nate Lewis to the 30. Now we'll check the penalty. The Chargers have been hurt all night by penalties.
I think it's going to go against Stan Brock, number 67.
That'll cost him 5 and cost him the completion.
And those tackles want to get out.
Number 67 was moving simultaneously.
You're right.
Another offensive player. Repeat 2nd down.
Brock just shakes his head. So does Bobby Ross.
Well,
8 penalties, 55 yards.
But it doesn't hurt you in this situation because now you got 2nd down and 9. It's not that devastating. You're going to use 4 downs anyway.
Packers come with a 4-man rush. Reggie nearly got there. The ball overthrown and picked off. Buckley. Terrell Buckley to midfield to the 47-yard line. What a great catch. A return of 33.
This ball just gets away from Stan Humphries, but there's a good reason. Because number 92 is breathing down his knees. Terrell Buckley with a great interception. Watch number 92. Reggie White comes hard up the field. Brock trying. Now he comes down low on Humphries, and this ball just sails. This ball just sails high and away. He's got Nate Lewis. It just gets away from him.
Well, what a catch by Buckley, his second interception of the year. And nobody will rib him tonight about the goal he set for himself of 20.
No, he got a little bit of a way to go, but he makes a big play right there.
And Reggie White, we talked about at the beginning of the telecast, even if he doesn't make the plays, he's made everybody else on this defense better just by being there. Thompson just trying to kill the clock. Remember, San Diego can't stop it. And if the Chargers lose this game, their playoff chances may go down the drain with it. And Stan Humphries distraught on the sideline. He had a terrific second half.
If there's one thing that happens to Stan Humphries is if he's going to miss plays, he quite often misses his passes high. And that's just a question of something he has to work on.
We have hit the 2-minute warning in San Diego where the Packers lead the Chargers by a touchdown. Green Bay with a 7-point lead over San Diego. Packers have the ball. The Chargers have no timeouts left. 2 minutes to go. And for San Diego, one of 6 teams chasing 3 playoff spots. And right now they are 6th in the pecking order. Pittsburgh to play tomorrow night. If the score holds here, they would be 6-7. And Sterling Sharp walking off the field. He will have another week to rest before he tees it up and plays again. He said he probably won't practice the rest of the year at all. And that foot won't heal until the season is over. Packers keep it on the ground. And Edgar Bennett brought down at the line of scrimmage. Things Sterling Sharp has done in the last couple of years, absolutely remarkable. 93 catches this year, chasing his own NFL record of 108. He should be able to get that easily if he can play. He's over 1,000 yards tonight. 4th time in his career he's gone over 1,000 yards. Certainly with Irvin and Rice, the premier receivers in football. And he doesn't have the blazing speed that they do. He gets it with guile and strength, determination. On 3rd and 10, Packers just worked on the clock. Bennett protecting the football, goes down at midfield.
Now here's a situation for Mike Holmgren. Do you continue to run the clock down, or do you try and punt it and take the penalty? I think what you do is you get the clock down as close as you can to 0, and you punt the ball because you're still going to be using 5-6 seconds as the ball's in the air.
Exactly.
Another 4 or 5 on a possible return, unless it's a fair catch.
The difference between the game clock and the play clock, they'll have to kick it at around 33 seconds.
I would not take the penalty here, though, and stop the clock. I wouldn't help him out that way.
It's a great point. You do burn another 5 seconds.
But it looks like the Packers are going to do it.
And the Chargers have nobody back. And they will take the timeout with 1 second left. Now at least they can come over to the sideline and talk about giving maximum protection to Wagner, because the Chargers may have to come after them.
Yeah, well, they're going to come after it. There's no question. Something, that bothers me a little bit. You got a chance to run another 7 seconds, 8 seconds off the clock and take them down inside close to 20.
And the fans are cheering because you're not going to see it because we don't want to promote it, but a nutcase has run onto the field. And here is another one who's run on the field and ran right into Stan Humphries, and it looked like he tried to slug him, and then Ronnie Harmon went after him. This guy came straight after Stan Humphries. And fella, let me tell you, you're in the wrong place with guys who are a lot bigger than you are and a lot meaner.
See, now, to me, these people ought to be fined exorbitant amount of money and have something done because they've disrupted the game.
No, they need to be locked up.
Well, that's not good enough. They ought to make them pay for it.
I like that, too. Now back to football with 32 seconds to go. The Chargers do not drop anybody deep. And Brian Wagner knows he is going to see a team picture of the San Diego Chargers defense when the ball is snapped. Did a great job just getting rid of it. 1 step and punt. And on top of it, he may kill it at the 1-foot line. Oh, what a punt.
That's a great job by your punter. Not only does he get it off, but it doesn't go in the end zone to get the ball to the 20 for him.
And now the players are going after each other instead of the fans. Well, you can't ask for much more than that. An 11-man rush. He kicks it on one step, 49 yards, kills it at the 1. The other team has 18 seconds left and no timeouts.
I think the difference in the game, Mike, was opportunities. The Chargers had at least Terrell Buckley beat twice with Anthony Miller, couldn't come up with the play.
Well, you're
the
right.
Packers just hung in and hung in and hung in, played great in every element of the game.
Reggie White has never won a championship at any level that he's played since he was a child.
And he thought about retiring because of the frustration that it caused for him.
Humphreys desperate. Dumps it short, tried to hit Harmon and threw his hands with 14 seconds left. Reggie said he was so impressed by the Green Bay Packer coaches when he was being courted by different teams as a free agent. Said they were tremendously sincere with him. He thought they valued him as a person and not just a commodity.
The first 4 games he really struggled, and then in the 5th game, which was against Denver on Monday night, he had 3 sacks, and that's when he really started to emerge.
Dan Humphreys out of his own end zone, intended for Lewis, tipped in the air, picked off. The Packers turn it over again. Mike Pryor with the interception, and that will do it with 4 seconds left. And we've got another fight. The frustration boiling over for the Chargers, and Leroy Butler is the injured player. And boy, you hate to see this. Looked like he got hit on the collision with Lewis and Pryor. He's having such a tremendous season and means so much to this club.
Leroy Butler's number 36. He's the right of your screen. There he is, going to come in and try and make a play. Well, you can't see it. He jumps out of the screen. Didn't look like he was in the air. He didn't look like he was injured.
Could have landed on it. They're working on the left knee. And now he seems to be able to flex that leg, which is a wonderful sign. And he's up. Now Leroy will be able to leave under his own power and have a week to get well. Big night for him in the Packers secondary.
That was a big move for them to move him from corner to safety.
Yes, it
filled
was.
in for an all-pro guy. He lost by when Chuck Cecil went on to Phoenix. Greg Bourget, defensive line coach. And there's his big pupil. Reggie's saying, man, I've been beat on for 3 hours. Don't be slapping me in the head.
Well, he said he wanted a pat on the back every once in a while, not a beating.
He got one in. Bobby Ross saw his team have some opportunities. Mike Holmgren sees his team stay in a race with the Detroit Lions in the lead in the NFC Central.
Our final score, Green Bay 20, San Diego 13. For Joe Theismann and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from San Diego. SportsCenter is next after this.